I got two hands, I got my mouth, I know how to earn money.
Good morning. I think, I think. Oh, okay. Fair. Any time you can get up in the morning, you're doing pretty good. I don't know. I think I'm starting to get some chest congestion going on here. Slowly but surely. Oh boy, it is actually cold out here. Believe it or not. A lot of movement of the air. And just, boy, I feel a breeze like whoa, cold air. I don't know what the temperature is. I just wish it go cool. All right, let me get my shit together here. Feel something coming on. What was I listening to? Jimbo's show this morning. I got it. I don't know, talking about family jealousy, whatever. Well, there is truth to that, but we haven't had that. No, we haven't had that with her family. It's amazing. They were. I think Dexter was talking about how I heard that. When she got that house, and the family was very jealous, very jealous. That happens a lot. In our situation here, we got this house. No, family wasn't jealous at all. They were very happy that she found somebody that gives a shit about her. Nevertheless, to decide to eventually buy a home, that of course they know it's going to be hers, and especially when I'm dead and gone. Let nobody put a gun to my head. I always noticed she walked a prouder step, though, after time meeting me. She just, and you finally meet somebody that's going to treat you right, and it really turns a woman around. Just allow me to collect my thoughts here. Instead of babbling something here, I want to get to point. Oh, hello, Robert. A little ritual here. Well, I could. That's why I explain this. I think is when I just see my life going nowhere. Oh, sure, I had a house in Hawaii, all this crap, and blah blah blah. It was all cool. It was all good, and it was. It actually really was, for the most part. I'd say. Um, to make some kind of accomplishment, something that you plan to do, and you follow through with your plans. That's always been like number one for me. Making a decision about something and following through with it and succeeding, you know? I guess it's philosophy time, but whatever. I always thought that was important. You got something in your mind, you go through with it, you do it, you succeed. So, having a house in Hawaii was an accomplishment away from a big city, and I mean, it could be worse. I could be living in, I don't know, Arkansas or something like that, or Alabama or some forbidden, horrible place. But, like, really a total about probably 15 years in Hawaii when I think about it. Could be worse than that. Sometimes you gotta appreciate some of the things that you do instead of concentrating on a lot of negative shit. could have done, should have done, would have done. That's always history. It's what you make of yourself now, and not to rely on the past, what you did in the past. Those days are over. You got to live for today. Forget about what you did in the past. The good old days, the round table with the blowjobs going on, like Popeye concentrates on all the time. It's rather sick when you think about it. But let's not throw him in here. He doesn't deserve any PR, good or bad, really. But I started talking about jealousy. There is a lot of jealousy upon Filipinos. When, let's give an example, when their lives are kind of stagnant and a family member, succeeds, whether it's with a good job or they meet somebody really nice and they're happy. Maybe their lives are not going as good or as well or where they'd like it to be, but then a family member succeeds of finally finding somebody compatible and that they're very happy with. And then they see the changes in the person. They have a prouder step when they walk. Their chin is up in the air, and there's just, you see a big change in somebody, and they're like, oh, things are really coming together. Well, it's kind of happened to me too. Like, I don't, geography is not the thing, where you live. Like you say, oh, I lived in Hawaii, I had a house. It's significant to me, but I had a house in Seattle too, got a house now. I never really thought, I've rented prior to ever having homes, which is, it's history, It's something I achieved, I'm happy about, but it's history. You're living for now. And it really means that bring yourself from one level to another. And speaking of Hawaii, which I am, part of it is that you could be some place that's like really beautiful and kind of a place that everybody would love to visit, nevertheless live. All the elements have to really come together. Were they for me? Not really. No, not really. After I've been out there for a while, certain realizations would come up, and although the place is beautiful, there was just so much shit going on out there, drugs and thievery and some people just trying to survive. I mean, I think a lot of the quasi hippies that moved out there thought they were moving to the land of plenty where they could live off the fruit of the land. Yeah, they were really thinking that way. You got the Rastafarians that moved out there that, I don't know, that was interesting enough. They could live the fruit of the land, but that, unfortunately, was not the case. Thinking they could move there and pitch a tent somewhere and, form some hippie colony or something, which they did, actually. They tried. It was called the Rainbow Group, the Rainbow, and they were basically a bunch of kind of quasi hippies. Nothing against hippies, I don't know why it's a terrible word, but basically modern day hippies, And the group was called Rainbow. They had these little festivals and meetings and everything. It was tofu and and natural and tofu and they just sat around getting high and shit on marijuana. Did have these little rainbow groups there. They probably still do. I don't know. I just didn't, sort of fit into that. I never tried. It was never an interest of mine. But, you just can't move somewhere and expect, is what I'm trying to say. You just can't move anywhere and expect perfection, and you can't expect everything to go in a direction that you were hoping it was going to go. Sure, you can have the beauty of the land and all that stuff, but there has to be a lot more than that. And unfortunately, modern day, oh boy, and it's not all about Hawaii here, but I'm just talking rapid a little bit about this. Yeah, you can't just have a beautiful place to live in if nothing else pulls together. Dating in Hawaii, that was very hard. Admittedly, that was very hard. I think one of the places I lived in, you know, that was probably the hardest to find women. There was just a different attitude out there because, I have to use the word howlies. They had an attitude toward howlies. I don't know how I survived out there that long, really. If it wasn't for a lot of things that kept me occupied, taking care of the grounds I lived on and growing things and fruit and flowers and keeping me busy, kind of landscaping and doing all that stuff. If I didn't have that, I'd probably go out of my mind. Uh, Making, trips to the ocean all the time, that really helped. Because it was beautiful out there, but to sustain me for the rest of my life, as far as a place I'd want to stay, it would have been. But unfortunately, everything has to do with attitude, and the attitude of, not all of them, there was aloha spirit out there amongst few, but unfortunately that so-called aloha spirit just disappeared. Everything becomes battles, They didn't like mainlanders moving in, but ironically, years later now, yeah, I think there's only 2% of the Hawaiian population, real Hawaiians, that actually live in Hawaii, period. Can you imagine that? It's called Hawaii, has Hawaiians, but they're all gone. The very ones that complained about mainlanders moving over here moved to the mainland. And they're still talking about sovereignty. Comes a time when you gotta put down your protest signs and just accept what is. I think in this situation, yes, I know how Queen Liliuokalani was imprisoned in her own palace and all that. I know all the history and all that. A lot of that is true. They have reason to bitch and whine, for the most part. They do, when they've been taken over, just like Venezuela being taken over. So, somebody's land, they're Native Americans, in the United States, they had their land taken over and telling where to live, how to live. Set up your teepees over here. Here, we set up a spot for you. Do what you want. But I think when you call something paradise, it's not paradise for everyone just because it's pretty. If some of these elements were not happening in Hawaii, I'd still be there. But still, I think the social aspect of Hawaii, like even in Seattle, you had to belong to a different clique, a group. You had the Starbuck group, the yuppie groups out there. You either fit in or you didn't, you know, which I didn't. Although, the dating situation for me was, that's a whole different story. Seattle was, yeah, it was incredible. I was in my prime in Seattle, every way. Great place too, for the most part. Then Seattle started changing. Of course, I lived in Seattle before I went to Hawaii. But Seattle, I was very proud. The Emerald City, they called it. It was pretty cool, man. Really good looking women. It was beautiful. Even the city was beautiful. Pardon me if I cough. I'm getting some kind of chest congestion going on. Yet another thing I have to look into. But, again, that changed too. More drugs were coming in. The atmosphere, just environment kind of changed. people also were moving out of Seattle too, because it was getting out of control with all the drug addicts and everything, and the police not being able to do anything about it. City council and everybody telling them, don't, we want to fill up our jail cells. Don't arrest them. Don't arrest them. Don't arrest. It just got carried away. Quality businesses moved out. I guess they're recovering now to a point, but it's not the same. It seems like nothing ever stays the same, does it? It really doesn't. We'll grow up. Oh, the good old days and all that stuff. Everybody says the good old days. Maybe when you're a kid, you don't have any responsibilities, don't have to work, parents take care of you and all that. It's always the good old days. And we always thought the good old days were better. Things were simpler. Well, in some ways that is true. It's very complicated for people. Life is complicated for a lot of people, though. Society is obviously really complicated for just about everyone these days. Worries about the economy, inflation, everything else, but what I'm trying to say is that nothing stays the same at all. It really doesn't. You just have to make the best of a situation as best as you can under a lot of maybe negative situations or whatever. But anyway, we were beginning to talk about jealousy out here as I kind of meandered my way into some other stuff here, which I usually do. That's okay. I forgive myself for that. There's a lot of jealousy that goes on, and it could get awfully ugly. Fortunately, in my girlfriend's family situation, there's never been any of that. Because a lot of them got their shit together, If anything, they're just happy for her. Obviously, she wasn't in a marriage that made her happy. Relatives had to do with that. And one example is, she went out to work in Brunei, sending money back all the time, family. Oh, everybody's happy about that. How great she is. But what happens is, and what they do, a lot of Filipinos make sacrifices. They'll send most of their money home, and they barely really saving a lot of money for themselves because they're thinking about their kids, supporting their kids. When a Filipino goes out to work overseas, Filipina or Filipino, they're doing that for the family and their kids. You have to make a sacrifice when you go out there. You can't be with them. But somebody's got to bring in the money. So it's quite a responsibility. And they take these responsibilities seriously. She did. But when, you come back, but that was one bugaboo with some of the family. I see our husband's side. Whole big change of atmosphere. Because there wasn't any more money coming in. And things change. Friction. But oh yeah, when you keep everybody satisfied though, they're going to be happy, but any changes in that, he's going to be met with a lot of adversity. Pardon me, I just took some raw honey. A lot of different changes go on, attitude and where they pretty much praised you for helping the family out, but then certain aspects of the family on the ex's side basically had an attitude. Well, they love you when, things are going great, but when somehow they're affected by it. That the gravy train is, broke down. Whole attitude changes. So I was kind of making a reference to Jim and Dexel. I caught part of their show this morning. It might have been an old show that he just repeated. I don't know, but I don't know if it was or not. But, Dexel was basically washing clothes for a living, trying to make money to survive. Then she meets Jim and the savior, Jim, the one who left her and left her on her own to fend for herself, to go to Cambodia and hang around with a young woman that had no interest in him at all, but he got taken by her. And Jim, of course, had to come back. What else could he do? So she's all proud, and even though she said horrible things about him, what a bad man he is, and emphasizing his belligerence and everything else, well, when it came down to needs, and she's eating banana blossoms and, becomes impoverished because now she's got a whole house to take care of, which has not been maintained, is falling apart. Jim Dandy to the rescue. A Jim Dandy to the rescue. Was he rescuing her? Or was he rescuing himself? Which one is it? Both. Well, think about it. Interesting dynamics. Interesting dynamics. Who was rescuing who? And now they're all chummy, and they go everywhere together, and all this love, and I don't know. It just seems that nobody's ever happy about something. There's always something, some politics, some kind of politics going on. Always, always, always. But yes, there is jealousy among Filipinos. And sometimes it could get really intense. Where they're once a happy family, they'll turn against each other. That's one thing I never seen with my girlfriend's family. I never experienced that at all. They never had any expectations of me at all. All they cared for that my girlfriend was happy of who she's with. That's all. Then when they seen how I treated her and how she became very happy, she had a lot of stride in her step, and you know, where I feel that she didn't really prior to meeting me. They're just happy that she's happy. And because of that, they do respect me a lot. Imagine getting respect from somebody. And no more Rodney. I tell you, I get no respect at all. A lot of times I didn't get any respect in my life. It's such a powerful word, really, respect. You can move mountains with respect. Make things roll, make things move, make things progress in your life when you get respect from people. But see, the thing is, the trick is that you have to give respect to get respect in any avenue of life. It goes a long way. Then people wonder, well, gee, why does somebody turn on you? I don't know, how much respect did you give them? Respect only goes a certain distance. It's a give and take situation, really. But jealousy, look, it's not just with Filipinos, okay, or Filipinas, or family situations. It's all over the world. You can't even maintain a good friendship with somebody if you just don't show respect to them. They may see things different than you. They may be religious and you're not. But there has to be mutual respect. and respect somebody's values, although it's not particularly yours. Yeah, you just can't give in to people like it's an expectation. You can't just satisfy everyone. You have to stick. Guess what I'm saying? You have to stick to your own values. We all owe that to ourselves. And I got to make something warm with honey in it, and just a little bit of honey here. Honey, honey, honey. So when I listen to, like, Jim and Dexel, I don't know. Is it a need or something? Is it, I don't know, playing off each other? When the situation is good, take advantage of it. When it's not, attack each other. And I don't know, that's where people go wrong. If you have any good in your friendship or relationship, build upon it. Don't try to destroy it. Everybody has their moments where maybe they're not happy with their partner or something, but you resolve things. Resolve, that's a real special word. Resolve. Please note that word, resolve. Everything, legally, morally, and every other way, you need to resolve things in life. Otherwise, it's just an empty space going nowhere. You need resolution. You need resolution in your life. You got a problem with a relationship or something, resolve it. Do something. Stay at it. Get out of it. If you have any problems, for example, examine the problems, why you have a problem in the first place. There's been many divorces going on in the world where people just divorce each other because, well, they couldn't get their way somehow, or they had some issue, but they didn't want to try to resolve these issues. Get my point? I think you do. There's not always harmony out here in the Philippines with families. Okay, put yourself in a position. Okay, you're in a Filipino family, and they've been struggling all their life. And they want good for their relatives, their family. We want to see somebody make it, and be happy. And when somebody does, generally they're happy. But there's a certain fraction of people that they get jealous because maybe their life is not going anywhere, but a family member has achieved happiness or direction in life, where theirs is just very stagnant. I think that's one of the reasons too that everybody always figures that Filipinos are always on the prowl, they're always, they're gonna find that rich foreigner that's gonna just turn their life around. It doesn't always work out that way. Because money's not everything. Believe me, when it comes to health and happiness, money is not everything. But they want to step up in their life, and why not? He's come from a family where nobody's achieved anything. I can say definitely my girlfriend's family, they're all achievers. She's got one son that's going to be studying to be a lawyer, one of engineering, two of them wants engineering. One is actually working toward that. They're working on the ferry system, become an engineer. One's a certified public accountant. One's going to be a lawyer. Two of them are going into engineering, actually. One of the girls actually is going to go into engineering. They seem to got their shit together. And they're not getting or achieving this stuff with handouts. They've worked toward getting, well, some of them got degrees, they studied. And they're trying to make something out of yourself. They're not expecting, a free hand from somebody. Well, they're proud enough to say, hey, I found a direction in my life and I'm going with it. You got to give those people credit. I do. Fortunately, her children are all very well adjusted. And the older ones, they really don't drink, don't smoke. They're in a good direction in life. But it takes a parent to help them get in that direction. It takes good mothering, keeping to values, keeping some kind of morality in order to get to where you want to get. Not all Filipinos are lucky to be in that situation. A lot of them, they feel that I'm just, I'm stuck in stagnation. My life is not going anywhere. And yes, there's jealousy because of that when they see that maybe a family member is doing better than they are. They get a big house, and meanwhile they're not living in maybe a nicer place. Yeah, it is jealous. It's jealousy on every angle, everywhere, not just here. Jealousy is everywhere. Right here on YouTube, there's mass jealousy of other people. I talk about it all the time. It's just part of my creed of talking about it. Some guy, like, this guy called Frank, they talk about him a lot. And it's saying, he's living a terrible life. Is he really? I think I know this guy, Frank. And what I know about him, he's pretty happy. A good relationship. Developed a foundation. Grounded himself. Is able to sustain his life in the Philippines. Wakes up every morning with a very special Filipina who's very devoted. Man, that's a plus. Someone who makes up his mind about something and he does something to make changes in the life. You can't expect everything to fall on your lap. Some people have those expectations. It's just going to fall on my lap someday. I'm going to find the greatest woman, do this and that, and then you don't really do anything about it to make that happen. You just remain stagnant in your life and you don't make any changes. And you wonder why you're not going anywhere. We've got YouTubers out there that are wandering around aimlessly, no direction. Going from one sleazy, temporary, overnight or so rental in a backpacker's hotel or something to another. No foundation, no direction, nothing. But they got their camera and they're vlogging. Somebody asked, "What do you do? What do you do for a living, or what do you do?" "Oh, I'm a vlogger." That's all they got, and sometimes literally all they have. How many stories I hear on here of people who are just meandering around? "Oh, I got to put on a show. Got to keep that money coming in." They can't seem to find a woman to get interested in them. But then again, look where they're going to find them. Bars. Drinking. Seedy, smelly bars. They come all the way, the foreigners come all the way to this country to hang around in a fucking bar with bar people, with alcoholics, with fucking losers. And they think their life in the Philippines is going to progress by doing that? And you think you're going to find the ideal women when you're trying to find them in bars? I don't think so. Where's that going to get you? Oh, hello, Ed. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at didn't see any comments. I think about this stuff all the time. How lucky I really am. I have my days, my dog days, where I start thinking about some negative things. Then I realize, damn, you got a lot more than a lot of people. I'm not wealthy or anything. Like, we're not talking about money. That's not the denominator. It's happiness. Is worth more than all the fucking money in the world. We got a president of the United States worth billions. He's not happy. He's bitter. Just a bitter old man that's losing his mind. What good is the money? I've never seen that president smile. I don't think I've ever seen him smile. He has this fixated, kind of angry face on him all the time. So all the money in the world and all the power in the world, it just destroys you. When you get so absorbed of being bitter and got to have your way. Like, Robert Clausen, he's a great example of the most bitter man on YouTube. Bitter. Horribly bitter. And do you want to live your life that way? Find something that's good in your life and build on it. That's what I say, build on it. There's got to be something to take that bitterness away. Even if it means getting laid after, 2 decades of not. Do something that's going to put a smile on your face. I don't care what it is. Do something nice for somebody, maybe. Make a child happy. Buy him an ice cream cone or something. Put a smile on a family's face by helping them out a little bit, if you're in a position to do so. Not for face value, Do something nice because you want to do something nice for people, not to impress people. Fuck, I've done so much of that. But you don't always get the respect back from people, though. You could help people out. I've helped with family members out, advise this and helping them out financially and this and that. But sometimes you don't get the appreciation back. Things you do for people that you didn't have to do, but you did. They don't remember all the good things you did for them. They just remember, something bad that happened. They'll label you like they do on YouTube. Everybody's labeled on YouTube. We think this guy is this. We think this guy is that. Are they really? Or is there a reflection of themselves? They projecting something deep inside, some inadequacy of some sort, something missing in their life, horribly missing. So they become miserable. And how do you know they're miserable? You just listen to them. Like Robert Clausen, who was like a prime example. I use him a lot because we have all kinds of characters out there that have a lot of flaws, but this is the most bitter man on YouTube. He doesn't do regular shows. He don't come on camera. He just waits to simulcast my show so he can say something nasty about me or my girlfriend. And he's a coward. And the cowards that would never come in front of you and say that to you and your girlfriend. Ever, ever. That's how we define as a coward. And somebody who's they're living in a swill of misery that they actually bestowed upon themselves. Society didn't do it to them. They did it themselves. Because if you're living a miserable life, it's you who has to change your life, not somebody else. Yeah. And as such, you're responsible for your own life. So if you're miserable in your life, do something about it. I hear all these stories on here. And I've misjudged people too. There's a show on, and I'm gonna promote this guy. He's called Mr. Wright, W-R-I-G-H-T. we could falsely kind of come up with some conclusion about somebody that you find out later it's not true. He's called Mr. Right. And I seen his show, and I thought he was an uppity kind of guy. He doesn't dress like anybody living in the Philippines. He's proper polo shirts, and he kind of has that air of being like a wealthy guy and who talks down on his nose. But then I listened to his story. In fact, just put one on. Because he was living in a semi-expensive condo. I figured this guy had money. He didn't seem like he fit into the Philippines. See, I made a wrong judgment. And I'll admit it, I made a wrong judgment on him. I thought he was uppity. But he did a show. This is a great example. He did a show that I just saw. Because I did subscribe to him. And he was really, really happy. He just hit the 16,000 subscriber mark. And he was so proud of it. I really misjudged this guy. He was so proud of it that 16 people want to listen to him. And it made him feel so special. He's been going through shit, and I got him all wrong. His girlfriend just broke up with him. He's sad about that. He's really in love with her. Financially, he was hurting, and I assumed this guy had money. He was living in, I don't know, maybe like a 40,000 peso a month place. I'm thinking, he's got money, nice furnishing, nice condo. Just something about his grooming and the way he dressed, his shirts, his clothing. It looked like, he came from an upper crust of some sort, that he had a lot of money. Turned out that's not the case. I made a bad judgment. See, I'll admit something when I'm wrong. She came on and did a show, and he was so genuine, thanking people in the Philippines, people that he's encountered in his life that makes his life happy. And I didn't know, and he just broke up with a girlfriend he was in love with. That was a big downer for him. And then, he was having financial problems, running down on money and everything. But then something good happens, he finds people that felt that he had something to say, and he was very pleasant to listen to. And I made a bad judgment. And he was so happy. He just reached 16,000 subscribers. That's an accomplishment. And he was thanking everybody for, he didn't expect it, that people would care to listen to him and respect what he has to say, instead of people just attacking you and finding reason not to like you. I did that with him. I misjudged him. I misjudged the guy. And I wrote him and said, yeah, I did misjudge you. I kind of thought you were kind of an uppity dude, and you come into the Philippines acting like you own it and looking down on people. Boy, I misjudged him. Because he's not that way. See, we all make mistakes with that. Right away, we want to attack somebody for something. This guy's, upper crust, or acts like, or dresses like, so proper, and so, he looks like he comes from a wealthy situation. I don't know what he did in America or Canada, wherever he came from, but I made a judgment on him. See, until you start listening to them and you get to know what they're all about. And that was his saving factor when he just did a show and he talked about himself, what happened. He didn't hide anything. It's almost like he wanted to cry if he really had to, because I'm so happy now. I've been around these Filipino people, and they've been so wonderful to me. They've been so accepting and allow me to fit into the community. A wonderful thing. Wonderful. I'm very happy for him now. He just fell in love with some Filipino, I guess, and I don't know, they broke up for some reason. I didn't get into that, but that fell apart. Sure, that can make your heart crash. You're trying to get this shit together in the Philippines, and you found a great woman, and all of a sudden, whatever happened, and you're not together anymore. And that kills you. It kills part of you. Emotionally, in every way, it just kills part of you. Because you thought you were doing good, and then, relationship breaks up. Yeah, it's not always inevitable that something's going to break up. Something things happen in a relationship that, all of a sudden, boom, gets addressed, and the next thing you know, you're breaking up or something. It's not what you wanted, but shit happens, like they say. But then to realize that he didn't just have this woman that made him happy, but that there were people out there that really enjoyed listening to him, and they gravitated to his channel, up to 16,000 viewers. And he didn't get it by drama. There was no drama with this guy. I have to talk about it because I think this is important. I think it's important. He didn't get his viewers by drama. He didn't get his viewers by attacking people. He wasn't even sure he was going to do a YouTube channel, but he thought he'd try it and see what would happen. To his surprise, after a short while, things started to build up, and it shocked the shit out of him. Now he reaches 16,000. It's a respectable figure. You don't have to have 1 million subscribers. Just a respectable figure, 16,000. That's 16,000 people. That's bigger than the biggest auditorium. It's not a Woodstock concert, but that's a lot of people. Imagine standing in front of 16,000 people. It doesn't mean that they're listening to him all at the same time. That would be unique. But imagine 16,000 people that want to listen to you, that have subscribed to your channel, because they care about what you have to say. Something resonated with them to bring you to their channel. And it wasn't drama. It wasn't hate. It wasn't jealousy. It was a genuine liking for the guy, for what he stood for and what he had to say. His demeanor, his personality. Wasn't going around hanging with trolls and attacking people. Perhaps, many people should try this. You might like it. And you might succeed on your channel better than you are. Will you stop doing fucking catchy bait clickbait titles and all this bullshit? And take things step by step. Watch what you say. And give and act by example. Show people that you could be happy in the Philippines if you make the effort, but it takes effort. You got to have a different attitude about Filipinos out here. Stop bitching about the country, like I see a lot of people doing. Start bitching about what other Filipinos did to other people, and they don't all do that. Filipinos are not all using foreigners. Sure, there's a great percentage that do, but you can't make that, I call it a blanket statement, that they're all that way, because they're not. And if you happen to choose the wrong Filipina, of course, you're going to develop a very negative attitude about Filipinos. Or if you couldn't find one, nobody wanted you. Sure, you're going to develop a negative attitude, projecting your bitterness, like some people do on here. Because you couldn't get somebody. Why? Why couldn't you get somebody to do? What aspect or whatever of your personality turned them off? Your lies? Or looking down at them like you're better than they are? Perhaps. Or just looking at them like they're a piece of meat or a notch on your belt? They're not going to respect you if you act that way. Look at Jay, one of the lowest class, one of them, lowest class people that comes on YouTube. A total train wreck. Chain smokes, chain drinks, has a horrible, horrible attitude toward people. Commits fraud on his show. Tells everybody he's winning. Buys a girl a few drinks and poses with her. I'm killing it. I am killing it. He's not killing anybody but himself with his chain smoking and drinking. We have other people that are like that too. Say that they're killing it and living the 5-star lifestyle, but are they really? Are they really? No, they're not. Of course they're not. Of course they're not. It's all smoke and mirrors. I don't pretend to be anything that I'm not on my show. I tell it like it is. I'm not trying to hurt anybody, and certainly not intentionally. Oh, you'll know if I am. Believe me, you know. I've had my moments, like everybody else has, but sometimes you gotta move on. You're not gonna like what everybody says about you on here. And you're not gonna like everybody on here. Like in life outside YouTube, it's the same thing. But you got choices to make and how you want to live your life, how you want to project yourself to other people. Do you ever meet somebody where it just didn't click right away? You just knew it in a minute that this person could be my friend because, we're on different planes on attitude and moralities and lifestyle and shit. Just like when I met Brevis and Barry. I pretty much knew right away, nah, I can't have that kind of people in my life. No. Yeah, it wouldn't mesh. Of course, they got upset with me, and that's why they started turning on me because it was rejection. Nobody likes rejection. I don't like rejection. Nobody likes rejection. They felt rejected, and they turned on me, and that's modern. It's history now. Now you understand this relationship regarding Brevis and Barry and all that, because you rejected them, and they didn't like being rejected because they probably come from a history or background of, maybe one of them was born with a silver spoon in their mouth, with a successful family, and one wasn't. It was mistreated by their family in horrible, horrible ways. So instead of trying to improve upon their life, and they're always running away from it, because both parties I just mentioned, they were both running away from something, okay? That's seemed to be the common denominator, a lot of them. They're all running away from something. You got Fazio who's running away from his fucking bank that he fucking ripped off for like about 60,000, I don't know the figure, in order to be moving to the Philippines. They're all running away from something. But then when they got to where they want to be, what do? They fucked their lives up. If you're not a nice person before you came here, you're not going to be a nice person living here, and people are going to see that. You could run away from, a geographical area, but you can't run away from yourself. That's the thing. Let's emphasize that. You can't run away from yourself. That's just not going to happen. You're going to carry yourself no matter where you go. You want to move on greener pastures. Well, I thought Hawaii was greener pastures for me, but it turned out it really wasn't. You got to make the changes in your life, and don't expect everybody to do it for you. Not everything in life is going to be handed down to you on a fucking platter. That's just the way it is. If you don't want to make the changes in your life, then you're not going to see any positive change. You can't find a woman. There's got to be a reason for that. Maybe a little bit of self-examination. Perhaps. Examine yourself and be truthful to yourself. Not to anybody else. Be truthful to yourself. And what is this flaw or character flaw or something in your personality or way of thinking that is preventing you from going forward in your life? Think about it. Examine yourself and make your judgment on your own self before you make judgment on somebody else. That's what I say. You got to be doing something wrong if you've been rejected all your life. You can't always blame everything on your parents and your upbringing, but that does play a part in it too. You got to get yourself out of the sewer and back onto into the pavement, instead of just swimming in your own, soup and blaming society and blaming somebody else. My life is this way because of you. No, your life is, if you're in a bad way, your life isn't that because you made it. You were too lazy to make changes in your life, or too stubborn to admit fault and try to move on with your life. I see that all the time on here. Always. There are no excuses, but everybody makes excuses for something. Or you're going to find some reason not to like somebody, but jealousy does play a part in it. They haven't achieved what you did. And let me tell you something. As far as moving it, generally they're all retired, right? And the idea is to live a better life where you go into, right? And to kind of set yourself up. And I don't mean financially necessarily. Put yourself in a position where you will find your happiness if you make the effort. If you led a horrible life prior to where you were living before coming here, and then you expect things to change just because you're in a different geographical area. No, they're not necessarily going to change unless you change yourself. Otherwise, you bring your own problems here. The problems follow you. I know, some people on here, they talk a good talk, but they don't know how to do the walk, you know. Then they see failure and they wonder why they seen failure. Well, they carried themselves over here. You're still in the same body and the same mindset. What did you expect? Then they're all chasing their tails. It's like a fucking comedy or something, you know. It's like they're stand-up comedians or something. They're doing all this stupid shit and they expect something positive to come out of it. You're taking advantage of females, you're talking shit about them, and you expect something good to come out of it, like Vitaly and Slim. Where did they get them? Yeah, well, I think they deserved more than they got, especially Slim. Everything kind of catches up to you after a while. You know, you go on a reign of terror and you expect something positive to come out of that. Mr. Double Chin is on. Finding happiness in the Philippines often centers on strong family bonds, community, faith, resilience, and simple joy. Yeah, exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. I probably couldn't. But thank you for saying that. Exactly. In other words, you got to make an effort. I guess I'm saying, you got to make an effort. Not everything falls in your lap. Maybe you come from a rich family, you inherit something, yeah, that fell in your lap, but it's not like that for everybody. Certainly not that for me. My family had no freaking money. Trust fund babies, whatever. Missionaries that come here, funded by their church organization or whatever, living their life on somebody else's dime. Yeah, I'm kind of all over the planet this morning with stuff, but I guess I'm trying to make a point. There's not that thing between my shoulders, you know. Your life and how happy you are is based on the amount of effort that you put out to simplify it. Don't expect good things if you do bad things. Simplify it more. You can't be bitter all your life about something. And some people maybe had a hard life. My life wasn't perfect, it never was. I've suffered what a lot of people suffer too. I've had emotional suffering in my life. I've had losses in my life. It's hard. You know, I lost a good deal of hearing in my right ear. It's hard. It creates difficulties. I don't even know how I speak so well when you have to rely on your hearing to hear yourself, you know, talk. But I do. Somehow I compensated for that. Yeah, I've had losses, family losses, by death or by other means, just as good as death. But I keep on keeping on. We all have adversity in our life, in one form or another. Some are worse than others. But there's also a way of avoiding adversity too, but you have to want to do that. If you want to, you know, get sucked in by the vortex on YouTube here, with all the hate and bitterness going on, then you're going to become just like them. And there was a point in time that I was that I really did get sucked up in that vortex. Absolutely, no question about it. But then I realized I'm becoming just as bad as they are. And I had to put a stop to that. And when things got really ugly, I had to take action, right? And you know what I did? I had to. Sometimes you have to force your hand on certain things. You don't really want to, but yeah, resilience is strength, double chin. I'm richer than a lot of people on here. Now, I'm not talking about money. There are a lot of really rich people that'll trade in everything they own just to find happiness. It could be a bad health situation, it's going bad, and they can't find a cure, or you're going to have to live with a chronic ailment. They would give away their fortune, everything. Where they were so greedy before they were unhealthy or something, as an example. But they would give away their whole fortune to find a cure, get rid of that, oh, I don't know, chronic pain, debilitation. They'd give it all away. Money don't mean a goddamn thing. It gets to a point. Look at Trump with all his power. He's like one of the most hated men in not the city, not the country, not the county, the world. He's the most hated man in the fucking world, who put himself in a position of absolute power. He gave himself absolute power. What is he getting for it? People are hating him. Countries are hating him. People want to kill him. So what good is all that money? You can't get buried with it. Oh, hey, it's nice to have money. You can live a little better in different ways, you know. Maybe a nicer place, or maybe you're not going to struggle like you used to. Sure, it comes. Of course it does. I'd be lying if I said differently. What you want? You want to go out? Do you want to go out? Do you want to go out, sweetheart? What do you want to do? You know, it's the simple things in life that make you happy. Everybody's trying. Here, why don't you let me do that? Have your coffee. You could ask me to do these things, you know.
I'm already there. Stay
Hold on.
on there.
Okay, back. I don't feel. There's a lot of people I don't feel sorry for. You can be compassionate. There's nothing wrong with being compassionate, but some people you just can't. Because everything wrong that's going on in their life, they did it to themselves one way or the other. There had to be a catalyst somewhere, you know. Then you create this domino effect in your life. Everything's going wrong even more because you can't shut your mouth. There's no light switch to turn off with some people. It's not like a light switch. Some people genuinely just fucked up or evil. Such a thing as evil. They complain about their lives. Well, why is your life that way? Why are you wandering the streets of Angeles City photographing whores, for example? Why are you putting bogus titles on your fucking channels to clickbait people, to get you to come to listen to them and only get disappointed and say, well, I thought you were going to talk about this. Because people are also inertly, they're greedy. I got to get people to come to my channel and I'll do some crazy shit. I'll bring women up the waterfalls while I supposedly have a wife and kid, you know, and do some really nasty stuff to get the fucking viewers. They're not being real to themselves. They're not being real to the viewers. All they're thinking about is the fucking algorithm. What do I say about algorithms? Fuck the algorithms. How about the rhythm of your life? How about doing something positive? How about doing something nice? And not try to make money on your show from creating drama to bring in all the clicks, the subs. I don't have a lot of subs on here, but people still come to listen to me. And if I did not have something interesting to talk with, I wouldn't have zero up there. Nevertheless, only say 14 viewers right now. And they're probably trolls, but if I didn't have something good to say, they wouldn't come here. They wouldn't come here. I'm making a point here. It only gets worse. It doesn't get better on YouTube until something happens. Until something happens. Look at Slim. Great examples, though. We have to use them. Look at, Vitali. They made some huge mistakes. Now they're paying for it. Look at another guy who's been sitting in jail for 3+ years. He made a lot of mistakes, but he's the kind of person that's not going to correct his mistakes. He's still going to be the low life, big mouth, rash, self-destructive person that he is. Some people can change, but some people can't or won't change. They deserve what they get. And look at people, what they do for revenge. Oh, I think you know a story about me that's going on. It was out of fucking revenge, not justice. It was out of fucking revenge. People could be pretty fucking fucked up and pretty fucking evil, but they stand behind their church, or they stand behind certain moral values that they're claiming to have by being religious. Well, they don't even follow the damn scriptures, the word of God. Speaking of religion, they're not standing behind these values. They're doing rotten things to people. And they think they're scoring points with the big guy in the sky when they're not. If there is a heaven, a hell, or purgatory, if they're such an animal, these are the very people that are going to be standing in front of somebody in spiritual land somewhere. And they're going to be judged, whether they're going to heaven or they're going to go to a fiery fucking hell. But maybe it's not going to these places. Maybe they're living a life of hell, which drives them to do these things. Maybe hell is actually on earth, not when you die and you go either up or down on the elevator. You go to the top floor, the middle floor, or the bottom floor, which is hell. Maybe their life is hell, but they're the ones that make their life hell by what they do, how they treat people, and some of the crappy things that they do to people. There's always payment. Remember, there's always payment in life, repayment. What you do can come back to you, the good or bad, and has to do how you treat people. You treat people well, you're probably going to get a good reception from people, more than likely. Now, maybe not with everybody, but I think the mathematical law is that if you treat people well, they're going to treat you well. If you treat people with respect, they're going to give you respect. It usually works that way, most of the time, I think. I mean, how do you want to be remembered when you croak? Do you even care? I mean, you get something like Trump. He's going to go to his grave, hopefully soon. And he's going to go to his grave not as this successful billionaire, but a tyrant, a narcissist, a criminal, a sex offender, a mean, bitter politician, not known as a humanitarian at all. The meanest person that ever walked the earth, that's trying to destroy everybody's lives. All he's doing, he only cares about is the fucking Nobel Peace Prize. He wants to destroy a country because they didn't give him the Peace Prize. He's yelling at Norway, and I think that's headquarters for the Peace Prize or something, if I'm not mistaken. I'll destroy Norway. I'll destroy anybody. He had to scare a person in Venezuela out of her Peace Prize. I want it. It's mine. I deserve it. No, you don't. It's not in your name. So what good is possessing a Nobel Peace Prize if you didn't achieve that? He wants the plaque. Did he deserve it? No. I want what you have. If I don't get my way, I'm going to show you. I'm going to, same on you, just same fucking thing. If I block somebody on my show, they come back and attack me. Maybe I blocked them for a good reason. But they'll now jump the fence and they'll go on the other side and start talking shit about me all the time. I've experienced it so many times. It's like little children that can't get their way. But what did they do to get blocked? That's the question. I just don't indiscriminately block somebody. They might make a rude comment. Maybe I warned them. So I get them off my show. No big loss. But, behavior like Trump proves that money is not everything after all. The guy's miserable in his own skin. Then we got people on YouTube that think they're better than everybody else because they got a bigger wallet. And their life is not, they're not fulfilling their life because of their money. They're living a false life, a pretense life. That I'm getting this women, I got harems together. And they want to be with me because I'm such a wonderful person. I'm such great character. I don't attack people. Oh, they don't attack people. Not at all. For what they have is what the woman wants in that particular type of cases, You get that proverbial carrot out, you dangle it in front of a Filipina, see if they take the bite. Like Jeremy Wade out there, Mr. Jeremy Made with River Monsters, putting his hook and bait out there to see what kind of a monster fish he could catch. Put the carrot out. Put that proverbial carrot out, which happens to be your wallet. Imagine being surrounded by women that don't give a fuck about him, except what he could do for them. That's a sad life. I'm sorry, but that's a sad life. When somebody's around you only because you got that fat wallet that could take them to 5-star dinners and 5-star places and destinations, that's shallow. I couldn't live that life. I'd rather be totally broke than have to get women by dangling a fucking carrot, the wallet, the proverbial wallet, the carrot in front of them. That's the only way you can get women around you. They don't when they don't respect you. In fact, they've even tried to attack the person and get money off them when things didn't turn out right because they got too spoiled. They got too spoiled. Don't say this bad about me, or else I'm going to do this and do that. It's happened. We know it's happened. That's living a false life. That's not a good life. No matter how much money you have, you're still not happy. I don't care about the money shit. I care about happiness. Hopefully, I got a lot of years left in, a lot of mileage on my tires. You know what I mean? Hopefully, I do. But the one thing I could at least say, I wasn't dangling a fucking carrot in front of anybody. Because when I met my woman, she didn't know how many carrots I had in my refrigerator, okay? She never asked, she never cared. And that's not the way I get women anyway, by trying to make them think I got lots of money, whether I did or not, or didn't. Because truly, if I was wealthy, I wouldn't tell a woman about it that I just met that at all. I would not do that. It's stupid. But unfortunately, when you can't get a woman, I guess you got to do something, right? Throw out the bait. And hopefully they're going to get on your hook. And just keeping around, keeping from, I don't know. Like some guys, they hang around with a bunch of flunkies that, kind of kiss up to them. They only hang around with you because you're giving them some bits of bread now and then. It's a give and take thing, like, I'll give you an odd example, but it's true. You got the sea anemone in the ocean. You got the clownfish. Speaking of clowns, right? Clownfish has these great stripes on him, and what the clownfish does is he draws other fish into the sea anemone, which is more of an animal than a plant, really. Now, the sea anemone has all these tentacles on it that paralyzes any fish that rubs through these tentacles. So the clownfish, throws his carrot out to lure in these other fish. And when the fish go through the tentacles, they get paralyzed. So the sea anemone eats that fish. And with little bits that are left over from the eating, the clownfish gets to share. So the clownfish gets his share of a meal because he was performing a job, a duty. My duty is to show allegiance or loyalty to the sea anemone. We work together as a team. I'll lure the other fish in, you'll eat it, and I'll get the scraps. Well, there you go. Well, that's a nature thing. But sometimes it's the nature of the beast, human beasts, to get all they care about. They don't care that they have a president that has lured young children into their lair, all the horrible things they did. But no, but my portfolio, since he was president the past year, my portfolio grew 26%. And he doesn't care about, it's one of these things where if the shoe fits, wear it if it applies to you. Don't have to name names, they know who they are. But my portfolio grew 26%. I made $1 million. Well, good for you. But you mean to say that you have no morals, no values, nothing? That supposedly the person that helped you get your portfolio to build it up 26% profit, you didn't care that this guy was involved with sex trafficking, child rape, underage children? You didn't care about that? Well, you see, I voted him, and I'm a Republican, and I have to stick to my party no matter how evil they are. Why? Because your portfolio went up 26%? That's a reason to honor what we actually could call a very evil man who has done nothing. Oh, but wait. But when shit goes tits up financially in this world, and that 26% you made on your portfolio, your financial dossier, when that goes to the shit house, you're now going to think, well, oh shit, after all, now this president fucked me up with his policies, and now the guy's going down the tube, and now my portfolio's going down the tube. Oh yeah, when it hits your wallet, that's the only thing that wakes up people, when you hit their wallet. Isn't that a fact? Or as Pinoy Troll used to say, isn't that right? Isn't that right? Get my point? All bunch of phony balonies. Thinking they're better than you because they got more cash in their pocket. That does not make you better than anybody, I'm afraid to tell you. And class is not how much money that you have compared to somebody that doesn't have much. Class is how you carry yourself in life, how you present yourself, and how you respect other people. That's class. Pardon me, I'm getting a chest cold. My father was not a rich man, but people respected him. He didn't have a dime to rub together. He really didn't. But people respected him because he showed respect to other people. He was a likable guy, showed respect to everyone. So my father was a rich man, but not in dollar bills, not in American dollar bills. He was a rich man because he showed respect to people. They did not look down on him because he didn't own a home like everybody else did. Didn't own a car. Was broke a lot. Just trying to survive, doing the best he can. because he wasn't very educated. In fact, he couldn't read. He'd hide that. Oh, someone say, hey, look at this or something, Oh, I ain't got my glasses. I ain't got my glasses. He tried to hide the embarrassment, you know. Oh, I ain't got my glasses. Make an excuse that he didn't want to let any people know that he couldn't read. But with all that being said, he had more class than most people that he knew. So it's not money after all, is it? It's how you treat people, even here on YouTube. Sometimes your channel goes to your head. You make it all this money, and you start looking down on other people, making judgments on people. Oh, you just got a show with not even 300 subscribers or whatever. I've got thousands, but how did you earn it? You bought your subscribers in part. And you decide to make your channel all about drama. When there's enough drama going on in this world that we just don't need any more drama. Present day, what's going on? It's unprecedented. What's going on in the world right now because of one person. One person. It's not Putin. It's not fucking Kim Jim, whatever the fuck the Korean president's name. It's not them. It's him. It's Trump. Putting troops out there, putting a new Gestapo, modern day Gestapo on the American people, pulling them out of their cars, pulling them out of their homes, killing people, throwing gas bombs right in their fucking face. One young guy got blinded in one eye because of one of these Gestapo agents. The terror he's putting upon America and the world. But no. You're more interested in what can I do on YouTube to piss somebody off? What can I say about him? Dudes, it's irrelevant. Don't you get it? Nobody cares what you think. I don't care what you think about me. And you shouldn't give a fuck what anybody thinks about you, too. The people having problems out here. Think about the source of where all this negativity is coming from. That maybe you'll feel better about yourself if you're having a problem with anybody out there. Think of the source. Okay? It's really that simple. A lot of shit's said about me, it rolls off. There was a time it didn't. I took it to heart. But then I grew up. I developed some fucking thick skin and realized this person's pretty fucked up. Do you know what your life is like? You know what your life is like, right? People make judgment on you. Are they living your life? No, they're not living your life. Only you know better. They could call you every name in the book. Does that really apply to you? You obviously would know whether it does or not. That's why you could shrug it off and just look at it this way. That whoever's throwing these little digs at you and stuff, I guess there's something missing in their life. And they're projecting. They're throwing mud pies that wind up coming back in their face, historically. Their life falls apart. They wonder why. Why? Because you're a schmuck. Because you're a fucking schmuck. You're Meshuggah. You're crazy. We got a lot of that going on here. But let's face it, we're all crazy for coming on YouTube, including myself. We're all crazy for coming on here and subjecting ourselves to this bullshit. Some people get off on it, some people don't. But if they're monetized, I mean, they got to suck it up. What's the worst of the two evils? Gee, I had a gastroenterologist that told me that. Never forgot. What are the worst of two evils, Mr. B? Well, same on here. What are the worst of two evils? Getting attacked by people, but you're making a lot of money in your show? Which one are you going to go for? I want to make the money, right? Oh, I don't care what they say about me. Because that's good. I'm creating controversy. It's bringing people to your show, right? They're smart. They're smart people, actually, in their own way. They know how to get people to their show. Create controversy. Create conflict. Do things that piss people off. and also get people just fighting with each other. Yeah, they have the ability to get people to fight against each other on here. With some maybe people shows were friendly to each other, now they're all adverse to each other. And sometimes you can start off with one person. Yeah, one person can do all that. Imagine that. Like one apple spoils the bunch. Oh, what am I going to eat this morning? That's what I'm thinking of right now. Ah, oh, I let one out, buddy. Let it all hang out. I'm kind of wondering whether I should go for a little visit to a physician. I don't know. I don't want to get pneumonia, that's for sure. I had a shot, but that lasts a long time. It's the flu you got to worry about, actually. Like I said, if you're living here in the Philippines, I hate to say it, I love the Philippines, but you're living in a petri dish. If you even know what a petri dish is, you are. you're fighting. You're fighting a lot of swill out here. That's the truth. And like I said, the oceans, they look so nice. They do. See, not everything is seems to be what it appears to be. Like we got these beautiful oceans and shorelines out here. It's beautiful, isn't it? The color of the water, all that stuff. But what's in that water? Same as a person. They try to come off on their show as being righteous and everything else. But what's underneath all that so-called righteousness that you're trying to project to people? There's a lot of ugliness. Just like in the ocean. Looks pretty. By all means, very attractive. It invites people in. Oh, lovely beaches, white sand beach. Here they are. Until you get sick after swimming in it. And you're getting infections on a wound or ear infections or something. Then you realize, well, not everything is what it appears to be. Is it? No. You know, just like people on here that bullshit about they're living the greatest life, but what's really happening behind all that? Are they really happy? I'm smoking too much lately, too, in the morning. That's when I have in the morning. Do I know when I smoke a lot? It's in the morning. It's actually when I'm doing a show, actually. Not all that glitters is gold, and I hate to come up with all these cliche statements, but it happens to be the truth. Not all that glitters is gold. Not everybody's life on here is what they're trying to portray as example on their YouTube channels. It's not. We've proven it. I've proven it too. You can turn around because you don't like me and say, I'm living a horrible life, but am I really? And what makes you, what justifies, as example, what justifies that statement that you made that I'm living a horrible life and that the person I'm with doesn't love me? How would you know that? Oh, because maybe she doesn't show affection on camera? That was one of the things. Oh, at one time Frank was on camera and she rejected him. No, she has something to do. She's not a person to display affection on camera. We have nothing to prove. Affection is off camera in our everyday life. It's in the bedroom. It's otherwise. She don't show affection on camera because it's not her job to do that. She's not trying to prove anything, and nor am I. Oh, we're affectionate with each other. And we have been on too, but no, they find one incident. I remember that. There's nothing wrong with my memory, like I said, long term. Because she was on camera with me one time. And she was hanging on me, but then she went and had to do something else because she was in the middle of something. Oh, look at that. Frank's woman rejects him. She don't even want to kiss him. Let me tell you something. I get more affection from her than I actually deserve. And that's kind of like a double statement, really. Sometimes I wonder if I deserve that affection I get from her. I pretty much think I do. But maybe it's like a blow to me somehow that I finally found a woman that really loves me for me, no other expectations. It's kind of mind-boggling. Because otherwise I wouldn't be with her, I'd be with somebody else. If it worked out with somebody else, though all was good and rosy and all that stuff, I wouldn't be with her. But I did wind up being with her. There had to be a reason for that. Not all Filipinos like to show affection on camera unless they're trying to prove something. Or you put them up to it. Filipinos are shy in that way. It's a different culture. A lot of them will not even show affection in public in the streets. They don't do that. I've never seen. I've been out here, give or take 10 years, whatever. I have not publicly seen Filipinos being affectionate with each other on the street. Maybe I wasn't looking, I don't know, but I've never seen it. Perhaps they do. Perhaps I wasn't being observant enough, I don't know. But I've not seen it. Now, one thing I have experienced, especially with my own partner, when a Filipina is proud, she's with somebody she really loves, and she's proud, she'll show them off. We'll walk in the street and she'll take my arm, not because I can't walk something like Popeye, not because I don't have any balance. I've heard that before. Not because I walk like a crab. That's a good one. No, she latches arms with me. There's a lot of reasons they do that. Because she loves you. And she wants to also show people, hey, I got a man that I'm very proud of. That's what they do. I've been out here long enough to understand Filipinas. In a way, it is showing off. It is. You say, oh yeah, I hooked myself a foreigner. Some of them think that way. Well, maybe some of them are just generally happy to be with the person they're with. So they will hold their hands. They will grasp the arm, walk arm in arm together. She does that. Doesn't have to, but she does. They're proud and honored to be with you. Because maybe they finally found a man that don't treat them like shit. Like Abel Man and people like that in Licky. They look at women as just a fucking number in their belt, if they can get to even have sex with them. And most of these people haven't even had sex. With all the years they're in the Philippines and they're going to Thailand and everything else, are they really having sex with anybody? How do you know it? Because they told you they are? Is that why? Or did they pay for the date through drinks? Or, hey, go on camera with me, you know. I want to let people think that I'm scoring. I'm living the life. I'm killing it. When they're not. It's all an illusion they're trying to portray. That their life is so wonderful when it really isn't. I tell you what, there were times I actually laughed out loud. Maybe not on camera, but I laughed out loud when I would see them trying to display this ridiculous situation that we could just see right through it, man. We could see right through it. Transparent. Living the life. What does that mean anyway? You're living a life. Whose life you living? Life of somebody else? It certainly ain't yours. You didn't get that woman because, there was something so special about you. You got this wonderful personality. Giving, compassionate. Just a good guy all the way around. That's not the case. You bought him. You bought him. That's what you did. You went to an escort agency. You picked him up from a fucking bar. You had to go to hang on your arm for display purposes. For example, is that product in a store window really available in the store? Is it just for show? Is a product the same product they're going to sell in a store? Not always. A store might say, hey, we sell the best pizza in the Philippines. It's their word. against the people who actually taste their pizza. Is it the best pizza in the Philippines? Well, that's a judgment call. What is good pizza to you? What is good pizza to you? Because they said it is? Then when you eat it, you say, this is not going up to my standards of what a good pizza is. Not at all. All smoke and mirrors. It's hype. They hype their channels. They hype their personality. They act like a fucking total maniac on their show. Facial expressions. We got a guy with a big pig nose with space between his teeth, like a cigarette holder, who displays mania on his show. And that's going to attract people. Oh, it does. It does. It'll attract people to the show. I want to see the crazy guy. Oh, that crazy guy. Yeah, I got to watch him. Or wait till he has a heart attack live on air because of his lifestyle. Because they're so fucking fat they need their own zip code. But they're drinking alcohol all the time and think something special is going to come out of that. They're buying women and telling people I'm living a 5-star lifestyle when they live in a less than desirable apartment complex made for poor people. They're living a 5-star lifestyle in their head. And they want to project this to their viewers to make them believe that they're happy. How do you know they don't cry themselves asleep at night? Because most of these people are lonely. They're lonely. They're suffering. Kevin's lonely. Jay is lonely. Licky is lonely. They're all horribly lonely people. Fazio is lonely, and he died from his loneliness and his stupidity, not to mention. Nobody is really living a lifestyle in here that they project. Oh, maybe some are, a special few, but for the most part, they're not. Loneliness is a tough situation. I talk about that a lot on my show because I've been through lonely moments in my life. I'm not afraid to say that. I've had my lonely moments where I was depressed and saying, man, this ain't happening. This ain't happening. I got to do something to change things up, Many times, even in Seattle, even in between all these women that you think I supposedly had, which I indeed did have. I don't expect, a medal for how many dates I've had, how many people I've had sex with. I have no expectations on that. Call me lucky, or maybe I had a personality that just resonated with somebody to be with me. That's quite possible too. Maybe I didn't treat them like shit. Maybe that's why. But as a single man, I do whatever the hell I wanted. I was married already. That didn't work out. Sent her to the curb. And went on with my life. I was free to date whoever the hell I wanted to date. It was great. However, with all the dating that I did throughout my life, was I happy? Or did I wake up lonely the next morning after I had, for example, an overnighter, for example? Sure, you passed the night away. Something called sex. It fulfilled your moment. Took away your loneliness, but then you wake up in the morning and you're alone again. Alone again, naturally. Okay, well, I think you get my point on that. Don't believe everything that you see on here, or actually everything you hear and see, because chances are that they're really not living a special life at all. And they moved out here for a reason. Everybody had their reason to come to the Philippines or anywhere else they moved out of their own country. It's a big commitment when you want to move out of your own country. It's huge. Because you're leaving everything behind that you had. But then some people think, well, what did I have? What am I really leaving behind? Baggage? What am I leaving? Old baggage? But sometimes people come out here for the wrong reasons. Everybody has a reason. The women, the booze is cheaper, cigarettes might be cheaper. They've heard all these stories about all these loose women in here. That you're going to be this super rock star, they're all going to be running up to you because you're a foreigner. No, it doesn't work that way. No matter what they say, they know who they are. It doesn't work that way at all. You got to put some effort to find some. Well, look, you could find a woman out here, but the right woman, different story. You could get a woman to hang around with you day and night for months. Treat her to meals. Oh, great stuff, man. Treat her to meals. Take her out. Nice restaurant. Buy her cell phones, expensive cell phones. She's going to hang with you. Sure, she's going to hang with you. Why wouldn't she? She's not stupid. Found myself a gift horse. Never look a gift horse in the mouth. Sometimes you don't want to put your mouth on that gift horse because they're so fucking vile. But I'll hang around with them. And it's eye candy for the vlogger. It's eye candy. It's all it is. Eye candy. And they're not always even good looking. It's eye candy to them. All smoke and mirrors. Man, there's a cotillion of these out there right now. And some that are listening to me right now too. You know who you are. Your life ain't going that great. Look at some of them. Where did it get some of them? You got one guy in jail for 3 fucking years. Did he come out here to have a great life, or did he come out here to run away from some? Or did he come out here to just, attack people and express his bitterness? Because his life was all fucked up. Whether or not his father fucked him up the anus or not, as an adult, you have an opportunity to change your life. Something for the better. And do something good with your life instead of wind up in jail all the time. Well, people are disrespecting you because you showed disrespect for them. And what? You want positive feedback? When you treat people like shit, you expect positive feedback? Look at Popeye. They don't respect Popeye. They hate the motherfucker. Let's lay the cards on the table. They hate the motherfucker. He's a bitter old man who needs to get his rocks off with a real fucking woman, not Pornhub, not looking pictures of my girlfriend, not looking at pictures of me. He needs to find a real woman. A real woman. Not a dream, not something from a pornography site, and not pictures hanging on your wall of me or my girlfriend. Find a woman in your own life and stop being bitter with your life, sir. It's your fault if you're bitter and you're living your life out of bitterness. Maybe you do have indeed a disability and your daughter is living there as your caretaker, which you don't want to admit, and I know better. I know better, dude, what's going on with you more than you think I know. More, and how would I find out this stuff? Well, there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a William, there's a way. You people are great on doing research. I'm pretty damn good at it myself. There's not much I don't know something about. Every one of these vloggers on here, trolls, vloggers and trolls, I got a pretty damn good idea what they're all about. By experience with them and by research. Both. And what I've been able to put together and ascertain is that they're not living that good life that they constantly talk about and boast about. Ricky, for example, he's a lonely, 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 lonely man. At least though he admits something, though. He admits that I'm a fat pig, I'm this, I'm that, I'm unhealthy. I'll give him credit for that, for admitting it. Can't give him much credit for anything, but I'll give him a credit because he can't hide what he is. It's apparent. Look at him. Look at his insane behavior. I don't think that's just for the camera. I know some of you folks think that this is all for entertainment, that he's trying to do that to get people to come. I think there's an element of that in there. Certainly do. I believe in that, of course. But I really think that's part of his character. I think he has two distinct personalities. Oh, I met him in person, and you can sit down with him and think, oh, he seems like a normal guy. Until you get him raveled up, and his personality will change. Like a A sunny sky turning into a dark, stormy sky. He could change on the drop of a dime. You can't trust people like that. They're kind of scary people in a way. What level of sanity or lack of sanity do they have? You don't know. But then again, you don't know what anybody out here. You maybe don't know what I'm capable of if I was pushed that far. Well, I think you do know. I think you obviously do know what I'm capable of. Pretty obvious. I gotta finish this. Yeah, I think I'm getting some chest congestion. I can feel it. But I'm not gonna run and get antibiotics. I can even hear my voice. As well as you probably hear it. I feel it too, a little bit of raspiness. Yeah, it's happening. I'll probably go for a checkup. The last thing I ever want to get is pneumonia, not at my age. I've had the shot for it. It's supposed to last a long time, but according to what you're exposed to, shit happens. Anyway, I think we had a pretty powerful show this morning, as usual. Of course, I don't get the dialogue because people just like to listen to Kuya Frank, right? But the thing is, you are listening. Trolls or otherwise, you're there because I'm here. Don't ever be afraid to comment on my show. If you have something positive to say, please do. That's fine. You're welcome. I'm not going to bite you. I'm not going to bite your head off. I assure you, unless you deserve it. There's been some people on my show that deserved it. But don't let people just fucking pull you around by your fucking neck, you know. Don't let people step on you. Stick up for yourself if you have to. And go the distance, no matter what it is. Go the distance. If they've done you really wrong and you're at that point of no return on it, you know. They've gone a little bit too far, defaming you and everything else. You have every right in the world to respond to that and take any action that you need to take. You have the right to do that. Yes, people can take things too far on YouTube. That's pretty common on here. And you have a choice to make. It's your choice. You could walk away from it, or you could approach it head on and say, dude, this ain't right. Or like in that movie, I'm angry and I'm not going to take it anymore. Everybody put their heads out the window. I'm not going to take it anymore. You have choices to make. You can get off YouTube. You could change the channel. Yes, you could do that. It's like a TV set. Go to some other person's channel. Or you could direct yourself to that person and try to resolve that problem in any appropriate way that you might feel necessary to do. It's getting a little windy out here. Because face it, you're responsible for your own actions. Don't pin it on somebody else. Take responsibility for what you do. And sometimes, unfortunately, it doesn't go in a good direction for them. They wind up in jail or something. Well, whose fault is that? You think these people learn from there? A lot of times they don't. They just go back and repeat themselves over and over again. It's almost like they can't help it. It's like that light switch. You want to turn the light off, but it just won't turn off. It's not working anymore. It's become ingrained, in your personality, the things that you do. Some people think, I can't help myself. That's who I am. Well, that's sad if that's who you are. And you mean to tell me you can't make a change? That there's no way you could actually make some kind of a change in your life if it's not been going good? And you realize it's not good. I don't know, man. Does it maybe seem like it's time to make that positive change in your life? no matter what it might be. You only got one life to live, man. Live it the best you can. Whether you think money enhances your life or, you want to find love in your life, whatever it might be that works for you, do it. Don't talk about it. You only got one chance at life, pal. That's it. That's it. If you fuck up your life in some way, and you keep on doing things to fuck up your life, that's what the rest of your life, that's your legacy of being a fuck up? Is that really your legacy that you want to leave the earth with and be remembered by? That's up to you. You wonder why women leave you? But you always maybe want to blame the woman? Oh, it's never you, right? It's never you. Oh no. It's something that she did. It's not something that you did, right? Maybe it is something you did. You just don't want to acknowledge it. Now, but there's some things that are meant to work out. I know a guy on here that's in jail. Suppose he had a fiancée. But would it have really worked? The guy was always getting into trouble. Sucking money off the dates that he had. Couldn't take care of himself. He had to find ways to e-beg online and take money that he borrows off people, promising to pay him back, and he never does. Well, you were stupid enough to give him any money. You were stupid enough to donate any money to this guy. And you pissed off later on, didn't you? Maybe you tried to help the guy out of a situation. Oh, I'm going to use this money to get my... And he goes out and buys a bottle of fucking booze. Hey, I even donated to this one guy. Believe it or not, I donated $20 for his teeth. And what did he do? Did he buy any teeth? No, he didn't. Or he comes on, proclaims that, man, I'm broke. I'm down to 400 pesos to my name. I'd really appreciate if you guys would, give me a super chat or something and so I could buy some food. He goes out and buys a bottle of booze and a pack of cigarettes with your money. Did you like that? Did you feel cheated? Were you upset about that? Of course you were. It was your money that you earned, one way or the other, and you were trying to be compassionate to somebody. And then what does he do? Well, he lied to you. He wasn't down to 400 pesos. He had plenty of money. Probably just got paid of his government. He had plenty of money, but no. He wanted to spend your money. He didn't want to spend his money. He wanted to spend your money so he didn't have to take it out of his pocket. That's what he did. And you bought it hook, line, and sinker. You did. You certainly did. A lot of you did. All right. Whose fault is that? It's your fault for believing the guy when you know or did know his history. That's your fault that you got sucker punched by him. And others. And others. And others. You got sucker punched. Your fault. Look, if you want to help somebody, you help somebody. Do it from your heart. But you also have to have a memory, too. You got to go back in the history of this person. Has he fucked people over? Of course he has. And you want to donate money to this guy when he already fucked you over? Another instinct, oh man, I'm in bad shape. I want to get out of this situation. I want to go home, Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Help me out. I'd really appreciate it. And what did he do? Even so, when he got donations, he didn't use it for what it's supposed to be. Oh, well. I don't know, man. Hopefully you guys learned from all this shit. Did you learn anything at all? I mean, did you actually learn anything at all from dealing with these type of people? What have you learned? You learned that you can't trust a person like that. That's what you learned. You can't trust him. Why did you give him in the first place when you knew, especially when you knew their track record? When you knew their track record. But you gave. Maybe because of spite, despite somebody else like me. I'm going to give to him because it'll make Frank mad that I donated to him. And Frank didn't want to see that. Well, you're the goofball that gave to him. You weren't hurting me by giving to him, because I knew what he was going to do with his money. You weren't hurting me. No, you weren't hurting me at all. I thought you were a fool for doing that. And we only know that you gave to this guy just to kind of get my goat or something, you know. But you didn't. I was laughing the whole time about it. Now, this guy would be nice to you just to get money, but then he'll turn his ass on you. But then you think, oh shit, how many times did I help this guy out? Now the motherfucker is, he's turning on me. The motherfucker's turning on me after all the donations I made to him. And when I decided to no longer donate, the guy would get mad and turn on you. Oh man, you helped me in the past. How come you're not helping me now? Because we don't trust you. These are people that constantly shoot themselves in the foot. And they don't learn from all the damage. They don't learn. What does it take to figure somebody out on here? Yeah, pardon me, I'm just fixing something to eat here. It's really amazing. I just don't get the dialogue on here. People are glued to their seats to hear what I have to say. But that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. You're listening. And you're absorbing what I'm saying. And you know I'm talking the truth. There's not one thing I'm saying on my show this morning that is not the truth. But alas, the truth hurts some people. Am I targeting anybody? I mean, if the shoe fits, wear it. Perhaps I am, perhaps I'm not. Maybe it's just my philosophy. Either way, I'm making my point. I think I'm getting it through. If you're miserable with your life, do something about it and stop complaining. Or you want to wind up like Scotty and all these people, just to name a few, just chasing your fucking tail through life and not getting anywhere in the process of doing so. But I gotta put a show on. I gotta make money. How about getting your life together? Everything will just come in naturally from that point. You get your life together. You might even make more people watching your show, If you be honest with people. And you stop lying to people, You stop trying to pretend that you're living this wonderful life when you're so fucking miserable. You think some of these people don't shed a tear at night? They're so fucking lonely? Then you're wrong. I'm convinced of it. I never got to that point in my life, but there's times I practically did. That I need a change, man. This ain't working out. But nobody can make that change but yourself. Okay. My breakfast. Want to see what my breakfast is? We're talking about some healthy lentils with chicken in it, and flavorings. Yeah, that's my breakfast. No bacon, a dozen eggs, and toast. It's nothing fried here. That's my breakfast. Lentils. Not a traditional breakfast, but it's my breakfast. And I love stuff like this. It's healthy. Like I always say, doing something that's bad for yourself, how about if you decide to do something that is good for you? How about your attitude? How about changing your attitude? That'll be good for you too. Because you're not going to get anywhere in life unless you change yourself. Only you know what you need to do to change your life around. If you're not willing to do that, there's going to be business as usual. You'll be chasing your tail in the Philippines, wherever you are, not getting anywhere. That's called mental illness. Doing the same things over and over again and never achieving what you're hoping to achieve. That's mental illness. Find a path in life and follow that path. Maybe you will find some happiness. I don't know. I can only give you good advice, but what has good advice ever done for me in my life? Nothing. Nothing. Whether it's family or whoever, or my show on YouTube. I mean, does it look like I have 100,000 viewers or subscribers? No. Good advice will only get you so far in life. They got to take your advice. Different story. But like you said, Double Chin, it's not about having everything. It's about finding joy in what you do have and being surrounded by people who value connection over possessions. Yeah. You got that right. Okay, well, let's let Popeye do his thing. I'm pretty sure he's probably simulcasting me. You know, Robert, I've been giving you a mouthful lately, but it's only because you deserve it. Yeah. Oh, you're sure capable of dishing it out, Robert, but when I throw it back in your face, you become unglued. Totally unglued. What you have to do is show finding rhyme and reason to find fault with me. But, you know, Robert, I told you 1,000 times. Look at your own faults. I'm really thinking about contacting the VFA. I really am. Because I have a few things to say to them. I say I warn people, I fire my firing shots, and oh well, if it's ignored, they pay the consequences. Barry's in jail. It's not like I didn't warn him. My point. Somebody's sending me the 100% little thing on my screen here. Are you afraid to talk? Well, Robert, you know, one thing I could say about you, I'd never want to be you. Even though I was given life, I wouldn't want to be you. I've had a choice of, well, you know, you're going to die, Frank, but we could keep you alive, but you're going to have to be Robert Clausen. I'd say just let me go. Just let me die then. I would not want to be him in any form or way. Physically, visibly, morally, I would not want to be Robert Clausen. Ever. You know, something else on that too. You know, he's an ex-serviceman, right? Why don't you make an example of yourself and be respectable? You say as a serviceman, you're representing your country. And we know how raw you are about the country. However, you're making servicemen look really bad. By example, you really are. If you respect other military men, because you were in the Navy, we know you didn't do much, but well, we won't emphasize that. You're a horrible representative of a serviceman. You're horrible. You're horrible. Your demeanor, everything, how you talk, how you're so vindictive. Yeah, be proud of your service. Be proud of America, all that stuff. Wave the flag, all that shit. That's okay, but be a good representative because you were in the service, sir. Be a respectable representative of an ex-serviceman of 20 years, whatever it was you served. You're not a good example, and you have not historically been setting a good example for other servicemen that have served the country in one form or another, whether they're in the fields or not. But that's another thing with your fucking false valor shit. I don't want to hear any more of that shit. I wasn't in the service, but I'll tell you what, I stick up for anybody else too that comes on and make believe they were in the service and they did this and that and this and that when they didn't do shit. Act as if they've seen action. He implied this, he did. Nobody knows. Remember that one? Nobody knows what I've seen. Seen what? I used to joke and say, you never know fucking foxhole. What did you see besides beating up some drunks when you became a security guard? What did you see? You were an asshole even back then. I wouldn't be surprised if you were really the talk of the other Navy men. I'm sure they had a lot of names for you. I just have that gut feeling that you weren't exactly the most popular person in the Navy. I just got that gut feeling. I wonder why, but I got that gut feeling. And it carried on to your life after the Navy, didn't it? Probably drove your mother, Jean, crazy. Didn't want to help out around the house, didn't want to do shit. I'm a Navy man, you can't tell me what to do. Boop, boop. Start singing some Navy song or something, right? God. Maybe she died just to get rid of you in her life. She made the ultimate sacrifice. You're that bad. You are that bad, Popeye. You really are that bad, sir. Maybe you don't see it, but other people see it, and I see it. You are that bad. There's some people willing to give up their life just to get away from you. Your negativity, your bitterness. Dude, get your shit together. That's what I say to you. Get your shit together. No excuses. You ain't got that much long in your life. You're getting up there. Don't you want to make the best of it? Except you devote your life to making shows about me and simulcasting me. That's sick and it's sad. And it paints a very big portrait of who you are. Fancy frame and all. You're not living dope life, Robert. Not even close. Well, I got government pension from the Navy and Social Security and all that stuff, and whatever your disability is. I can sit here and do what I want, and you can't touch me. You can't, I'm going to call you a pedophile. I'm going to call you every name in the book, and you can't do nothing about it. Well, whether I could or not, I think Mother Nature will take care of that one way or the other. I don't have to lift a finger. People like you don't last long. And like I said, maybe someday you're going to piss somebody off that bad that they're not going to care how far away you live, and they may pay you a visit someday. It could happen. A few people, I think, tried. But when you heard they were coming by, you just went to silence for half a year. Didn't even do a show for a half a year. You coward. Fucking coward. You're not even human. You're just a waste of organic matter and cells. You exist because nature at the moment is allowing you to exist. You got lucky. But sometimes, my fine tethered friend, life kind of takes its toll on you in one way or the other. Your happiness, for example, you're not happy. You're far from being happy. You're miserable. You're bitter. Bitter. Damn, I wouldn't trade off with you for all the money in the fucking world. Stop being so bitter. And stop living your life vicariously through me. Put your own life together. Fuck the bingo halls. Fuck the occasional visit to the fucking casinos. Or find one of these silver-haired women, blue-haired women in a bingo parlor and marry her. Or at least get fucking laid, dude. Just get laid. One thing. Go and get laid. And I want to see if there's going to be a difference in your personality. When you got fucking blue balls, oh no, they're purple by now. When you got fucking purple balls by you, like you, I understand the bitterness. A man needs some loving now and then, don't we? Don't have to have it every day, even every week. A little loving now and then helps, and change your attitude about things. Be nice to people. Stop, attacking people. Stop attacking me, sir. I'm living my life. You're living yours. Get a fucking life is what I'm trying to tell you. Get a life. But nobody could do that but you. I can't help you with that, and I don't want to help you with it. You're responsible for yourself. If I have things going on for me that you don't, it's because I made it happen. And yes, Papa, you are jealous. You're absolutely brimming with jealousy. And you would never had that house if you didn't throw your mother under the bus. You would never been able to afford a house on your own. The fact that you ain't got no women, that's your own problem. But don't take your bitterness out on me, old man. Maybe actually a little older than you, but you're older than me. In so many ways, Robert. Your attitude, your demeanor, everything about you is old and moldy and soggy and worn out. If you want to salute the flag, do it properly. Don't make yourself a hero. I gotta go. And thanks for listening. Mother Nature calls. And I gotta get some exercise in too. I'm not gonna forget that this morning. But think about everything I said in this show. Am I not right? Am I right or wrong? Only for you to decide. I gotta tell it like it is. I'm not afraid to tell it like it is. And nobody's ever going to change that point of me, that part of me. All right, I realize everybody's over at Philly in the Philippines show. That's okay. But that was a vendor going by on his motorcycle, got a recording. He's selling some kind of cookies or something. I don't know what he's doing. This is part of the continuing series of what I've been talking about on here and how people, they're always putting the blame on other people. They're always talking about everybody else, and they're accusing them of doing the very things that they do. Now, Brian Pervert, as I call him, this guy spent 7 fucking years, really, walking the streets of Angeles City. 7 years walking the streets of Angeles City, focuses his camera on women all the time. And he was married. And that was the whole context of Brian's show. By the way, I'm on 2% battery, so for sure I'm not gonna do a long broadcast here. And for those that don't hear this broadcast now, we'll leave this on for later. But Philly, who's the king of clickbait, Philly, Brian Pervert, spent 7 fucking years. They're talking about Scotty, which has become pretty much part of the whole show. And he has one or two guests on. And they're talking about Scotty and the things that Scotty's done. He should have been on his way out like anybody else. But Brian sits on his golden throne. He doesn't apparently like Scotty, but he does quite a few things himself historically, you know, and he has. 7 years of walking Angeles, streets of Angeles, the red light district. And this is what he does. And the balls on this guy to come on his show and start, which he does a lot anyway. This way, I mean, I have to agree with some of the things they say about Scotty. Yes, I do. He should be out. Go after the right people. I keep on saying that. Go after the right people. Brian is one of them. He'd be lost without his channel. The king of clickbait, #1. That's all he did with his camera. Married or not. But one of the reasons that Brian moved out of that area, because he knew he was getting into trouble. And too much attention was being paid on Brian because of him and his camera. Unnecessarily, unwarranted, and unaccepted camera on these Filipinos' faces. So I don't know whether you're ever going to listen to this show, Brian, or not. You're really a huge hypocrite. Everybody's aware of what you do. You can't be pointing the finger to Scotty. Now, I'm not supporting Scotty. Please don't even think that. I'm not at all. But you don't have clean hands, Brian. You don't have clean hands at all. And send us to him, please do. You don't have clean hands at all. We know what you did in the streets. Who knows what else you did? Now, legally, I can't say anything unless I could back it up on the other stuff. But you had a free license to do what you want in Angeles, even though you were married. And you said the reason maybe you moved out of there was because your wife got robbed on the street or something. Then you wound up moving to a fucking hillbilly fucking place, bumfuck Egypt somewhere, chickens running through your fucking kitchen. You never lived in a decent place, but you're making tons of money on your YouTube channel. I can't say you're doing it the old-fashioned way of earning it. No, it's clickbait and all this other bullshit. As if you don't talk about people, you always do. Go after the right people, folks. That's all I'm saying to you. You want a target, you need to have a target. It's people like Philly. It's these kind of people you need to go after. And your hands are not clean, Brian. Your hands are not clean. You can go back to Philly's show and you could tell him I did a show about him. You could do that right now. No problem. You could tell him I said that your hands are not... I tried to get on the panel, but I had some technical difficulties. I would have got on there and I would have approached him myself in an opportunistic moment. I just couldn't remember my email address or something there. I don't remember what I got for Google. But I tried to come on there, actually. I would have approached him myself and kicking myself in the ass that I couldn't get on there into the studio. But Brian, listen, man, I've been listening to you on and off for a lot of time. There's nothing innocent about you at all, sir. There really isn't. You spent all your time, 7 years actually, on the streets of Angeles City, with camera in hand, and all you did was talk about the whores on the street, focusing your lens on all the women and stuff. You doing something different than Scotty? Tell me what you're doing that's different. That's what I want to know. Tell me what you're doing is different than perhaps even Slim. Tell me what you're doing is different. Because you can't. Sometimes you got to call out people on here where they need to be called out. And I'm calling out Brian. He's just as bad as the people that he talks about. In some ways, maybe worse. Maybe some ways better. But point is, his hands are not clean. Brian, your hands are not clean. I think your life would fall apart if your show went off and you lost all your subs. Or if the immigration caught up with you. Because you're doing some of the same things that the Board of Immigration doesn't like. And why Vitaly and people like him and people like Slim were being deported. You're doing the same shit and you're getting away with it. So far. But you're a target. You just don't know it.
People are just waiting for you to screw up. But you already screwed up in the past. People have a long memory. So how could you come on your show and pinpoint Scotty to talk about, although a lot of information is relevant, when you yourself, with bloody, dirty hands, have come on YouTube for years, like your shit doesn't stink, like you're talking about somebody else on here, but you're really talking about yourself. And use your fucking clickbait tactics. You're a phony baloney. Yeah, you're making money on here, but take that money away from YouTube, where would you be? Well, you wouldn't be living, well, I could say you wouldn't be living a lifestyle. Well, look what you've been living. And even today, you got the money. You make a lot of money per month on your show, Brian. But look what you've been living in. Look what you've been living in. Some fucking hillbilly palace. Animals and chickens running through your house. You got a swamp outside your door out there. With all that money you're making, you can't take care of your woman the right way. It's kids from all over the place coming in and out of his house. Who could live that way? Unless it was his own kids, but living a life, you're not. But with the money you make, I don't understand why you don't want to step up a little bit. Anyway, that's all I got to say. My battery's on 2%, probably on 1% now. I wouldn't be surprised. You're not innocent, dude. You're not innocent at all. And
Oh, holy shit. Now I understand why this guy wears his hat all the time. I don't know. Let it all hang out, man. Now, this guy's about the same age as me, actually. It's quite a contrast, actually. Um, just, hey, folks, just an observation. So the question is, what do these foreigners do? What are they doing to get in that state of appearance and health? And what are they doing? Is it genetics? I don't know. I mean, I don't look like no 30-year-old. That's for damn sure. I'm aging. I see it every damn day. I look in the mirror, man. But I was kind of surprised, really. No, not surprised, but I was kind of taken back because I've never seen Mike's his balding head with the gray hair like that. I've never seen that before. And I guess that's why people wear hats all the time. And I guess it's got to be his reason for. I mean, I could say it's not his fault, but it could be genetics, it could be his lifestyle. I don't really know. Nor do I really care. But I must say I was taken back a little bit. And for the first time, I've seen Mike without his hat on. I mean, what was the occasion? I've never seen him without his hat off. Never seen him without his hat off. Why is the question? Are a lot of YouTubers looking well beyond their age? If you look at Jimbo from Asian Adventures with Jim, he's supposed to be 54, but I think a lot of people comment that it looks like he's well into his mid 60s. Is it the steroids? Is it the alcohol? Well, the alcohol will contribute to that. The sun will contribute to that. Even what you eat will contribute to that too. And then you go down the line. And why are these people looking so sickly? And by the way, this is by observation, and there's nothing against the law to make an observation about something and talk about it. Disclaimer, gotta put the disclaimers in there. No animals or people were killed in the process of this live stream. Nobody's been hurt or killed, I assure you. There's no 24 cats in the freezer chest like I just saw on an internet video with this woman who was a hoarder and her kids taken away from her. They killed their dogs and they had 24 cats who froze to death and starved to death in a chest freezer, which I don't even think was on. Okay. Just an observation, though. I gotta be careful on here. I gotta be very careful. Yeah, I probably would wear a hat too.
Only reason I wear a hat, my hair gets kind of matted quite a bit. I don't know why. I could brush it back like I normally do. It might look good for a second, but the minute the wind hits it or something, it's like, fuck, there was a fucking typhoon going on, you know? I don't have that controllable type of hair, but you know, the one thing I could say, I'm not losing, doesn't look like I'm my age, I'm losing any hair anytime soon. If I'm the age I'm at now, and I'm not bald yet, uh, I mean, look, anything could happen, but let's just say I've been lucky so far. Because I wouldn't look good bald. I would wear a hat all the time. That's for damn sure. I have no question about it. I'd look like Telly Savalas or something, you know. But my nose, now my nose does not go with a bald head. It just doesn't. Some people it's just not right. There's something wrong about certain things. And it would be actually very wrong if I went bald. Yeah, I just don't have that look. Some people look good bald, you know. They look tough or they're trying to look tough. They purposely shave their hair. They don't want to deal with it, or maybe they're too cheap to get haircuts, or maybe that makes them look like a. I don't know. To me, I don't know. Some guys look like a walking penis. You know, they shave their head and have no hair. Their head looks like a penis. You already got a penis. You don't need another one as your head between your shoulders. You got it between your legs. All right, a little humor, okay? A little humor. Relax, relax. It's not a lawsuit. It's not a lawsuit. Relax, relax. Take it easy or take a number or something, okay? But yeah, I did a show earlier. And by the way, I did have a picture there of John Blaze. Unfortunately, it wasn't able to fit in the whole picture. John Blaze was overweight too. They're all overweight on here. His face was chubbed out. I've got the full picture though, but I'm not gonna bother. I'm just not gonna bother. I'm not gonna bother. That's all I'm trying to do is make a point that the very people that always kind of nitpicking and pointing their finger at people and me and all that. You take a look at them and you wonder why they hide behind their camera, most of them, and there you go. They finally found out what they look like. Say, oh, really, really, and you're talking about me. You talking about me, taxi driver. You talking about me. You talking about me. Well, they were. Oh shit! I got an order coming in today, and the one thing I gotta go in because, because the lab ain't open. I definitely do have to have a urine culture. Not a urinalysis like I had. I have to have a urine culture. So if you do have a small infection going on in your bladder or something, then yeah, it's better to take care of it. But you have to know what kind of bacteria is it, because you can't just take any kind of antibiotic. It may not work or cause other problems. They will actually, in a couple of days, put it in a petri dish, whatever. They will actually discover what kind of bacteria is it and how do you treat this particular type of bacteria. You don't want to let it fester like Uncle Fester, because that could spread to your kidneys and then you're really going to have a problem. So an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure in situations like this. I was very suspicious that I was getting some chest congestion. I seem to be okay right now. But I'm kind of on alert for stuff like this. Why? Well, because I have to be. I'm not getting any younger. And luckily, my body's been pretty good as far as my immune system. I think I'd be dead already, to be honest with you, to your delight, but I think I'd be dead already. But I don't know, I just noticed people don't take care of themselves on here. Don't let something go the distance, like what happened with Fazio, his infection. His immune system just had a reaction to the infection. That's why he died. He had sepsis. It's like I said, it's not the infection itself, it's not killing you. It's how your immune system is responding to it. Because sometimes it gets overwhelmed and it goes wacko and allows the infections to spread everywhere. That's how Fazio died. He'd be alive today. He'd still be doing his shows and banging a pot, making a lot, or maybe not, because he had other health problems. I know he did. I don't understand why people let themselves fall apart. I just don't get it. They move out of their country to have a new life in another country. And what do? What do they do? Well, they get a YouTube channel, but they don't take care of themselves. Drinking, 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 drinking. Who doesn't fucking drink? I think probably the only one that doesn't drink on here. I'm the odd man out, I guess, but I don't mind in that situation. I don't mind at all. I hate alcohol. I don't even like to smell it, except the kind that's scented that you could put on your hands as a hand disinfectant. And it gets absorbed by your skin. It does. It goes into your body. That's the only way alcohol is getting into my body. Through hand sanitizer. And that's even enough for me. So it's all the little things people don't think of doing. Even your frying pan. If it's Teflon, you start seeing it chipping, and I'm seeing it. So we need a new frying pan. It causes cancer. It's Teflon. You want to get more of a ceramic pan. But where I live, you're not going to find anything of decent quality. Hello, Estella. Espero. Where you from? Sounds Hispanic or something. I don't know. So, it's, and relax, boys, relax. It's just an observation. And the majority of the YouTubers that are the ones that are pretty active in the Philippines genre, I've made observations, and I could do that. I have the right to make an observation. And what I've seen is people that are completely out of shape. They look older than their age. They have health conditions they don't seem to take care of. But isn't the idea of moving your life to another country so you can live a better life in some form or way? And I'm not just talking about going after the chicks. I mean, come on. There's got to be something better to that. Or they go on the attack of other Philippines bloggers. It makes no sense. Live your life. Don't worry about somebody else's life. But what I see in there, these people can't afford to talk. You got this guy, Philly, he looks like fucking Frankenstein warmed over. I mean, look at these people. Guy's trying to look like Ren Zero. If you remember Ren Zero. The fucking bandana on the head, the sun with the beard. What the fuck? Be original. It's only one Sentai 7. Thank goodness for that. Try to look tough. The tattoos, the beard, all that shit. You're not impressing me. I don't even like hair on my face. I feel comfortable if I got a 5 o'clock shadow. I got to shave that shit off. I don't have to prove myself as a man, so I got to grow a beard and look like the mane of a lion or something. Why do people grow beards? Do you live in the Arctic? Do you live up north where it's cold? Do you work outside in the cold? I can see you having a beard. It warms your face. I can see that. There's a purpose. And yes, hair is natural. You have natural growth. So it is natural to have hair on your face if you let it grow. But see, this is just a personal choice of mine. Just me. You could do what you want, but I look at guys, they get the tats and they get the beard because they want to look like a tough guy, even though they might be a real big fucking pussy. They want to look tough and manly. Well, you know what, dudes? You can still be manly and not have tattoos. You can still be manly and not have a fucking beard or a mustache. It's a cookie duster. What do you need a fucking mustache for? To catch your snot? And that's even more gross. Because it does catch your snot. Did a beard, and you eat, and all the food particles fall in your beard, and if you smoke a pipe, smoke cigarettes, smoke a cigar, your beard turns yellow after a while. It's gross. It's fucking gross. But just an opinion. Relax. Chill. Have one of my benzos. Chill. No, I can't give it away. I'm sorry. It's against the law. But chill out. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, Mark. What's up? I don't know how long you've been listening. I hate to repeat myself, but talking about a few things on here. I was looking at if you saw my thumbnail on there, that's what's his name's channel, and I've never seen him without a hat on for the first time. I never knew his hair was all grayed out, and I thought he was totally bald. But he does have some hair on the sides. It's like all silver. And man, he does look better with that hat on, I must say, because He looks ancient. He looks ancient. Just my opinion, my observation. I was telling everybody to relax. Yeah, I know. He's very smug. I know. He didn't want to say why his wife left him either. Now, it doesn't look like a fancy place he's living in. Where's he planning to move? He's just going to stay in Cebu a little bit. He's going to move to somewhere else. Did he mention car? Oh, boy, that would be a hell of a place to live. I've been through that area or by that area. It's not attractive to me, nevertheless. But, things change when the lady leaves you and all that, And he tries to kind of shrug it off, but I know he's bothered by it. Yeah, he's bothered by it. He's alone. And the chance of this guy finding a replacement. You really think this dude is going to find a replacement? Just my opinion. Just my opinion. That's all. Chill. Just a question. That's all. Don't get me deported for that. You better stand in line. Oh, Philly the hypocrite. Yeah. Yeah, Philly is a hypocrite. Oh, look. These people are worth talking about if we catch them in some bullshit. That I don't mind. If they're doing a good show, I don't bother them at all. It's okay to talk about it. You don't threaten their life or anything like that. I mean, it's okay to talk. They talk about me all the time. They're not all in jail with Barry, are they? Yet. Yet. I'll put that in there. Yet. I know. That's why I go to Philly's show when he has it on, and I just basically go there. Again, his clickbait titles. And I know exactly what you're going to get for the clickbait titles. That alone is just disturbing. That alone is, it's like I don't even want to listen to him. But yeah, he had that live, and that's why I listened to some of his live and guests he had on there, whatever. I said, you're so fuck. I tried to get on, but I don't know. I was supposed to enter my email or something on there that wasn't right, and I had 2 emails. I don't know. I couldn't get into the studio, and I was going to get on there. I was going to tell him. I was going to yell at him or nothing. No, nothing like that. I was going to tell him. I said, you can't afford to talk, dude. He spent 7 years in Angeles City doing such as these other guys did, photographing all these women. He had an agenda. He certainly did. And he's talking about Scotty. He's talking about Scotty Boy. Scotty Boy. Was Scotty going back to Canada for a little bit or something? You know what? Scotty knows he's in trouble. Scotty knows that he's been the subject, that there are eyes on him. Let's put it that way. Things are closing in on him just like they've been closing. And they go, if everybody's got that video of him grabbing the woman's breast. That was bad. Oh my. That was bad. You just do not do that in the Philippines. You do that in the privacy of your bedroom if she is your girlfriend or your date or your escort. But you don't do that at a bar, in public, in daylight. Grab somebody's tits because, and his excuse is, oh, I've been as drunk and drinking when I did that. No, man, there ain't even an excuse for that. There's none. So Scotty, I think he realizes he's in trouble. Is that delivery coming or something? Hello, where you going?
Eat.
Oh, go eat, yeah. Is it well cooked? Yeah? Okay. I had some ravioli with meat in it. That's what I just had for lunch. And she was going to eat a bowl of it, but her kid was going to go to school or something, and it wasn't time to eat. So she gave him it, but she made some pork and vegetables or something. I don't eat pork. No. But yeah, I was... And as a courtesy, Mike, if you're listening to my video, I will take it off. I will take your picture off. Don't worry about it. I'm just using it for my show. So relax, Yeah, I've never seen him without a hat. Now I understand where he wore a hat all this time. He does look a lot older. I guess he's my age. Man, I don't look like that, dude. I don't look anything like that. I've been doing something right. I can't pinpoint it exactly, whether it's supplementation, whether it's the certain foods I eat. I don't know all these years. Maybe I did something right after all. Instead of being accused of doing something wrong. It's nice to be right rather than wrong. But man, I don't know. He claims he don't have any heart issues. That's what they told him. He's just out of shape. Well, yeah. I knew he was overweight, but come on, just walking, and he wasn't exactly what you call like really obese. So, you mean when he walked around like that, he got so out of breath? Nah, nah. That's a diseased heart, and I'm not even a fucking cardiologist or anything close to it. Not even a doctor. No, no. There's more to the picture than that. I feel it in my guts. I look at people, I examine them with my eyes, how they talk, everything. I see things. I read between the lines, and I go by what they tell me and their symptoms. And it's not like I'm a doctor and I could diagnose somebody, but I do read a lot. I could recognize when somebody is not looking healthy, and I could talk about it because I can. It's an observation. The laws ain't that strict out here that I can't say something of what I see. If they're going to put themselves public on YouTube, I think I could say something as long as I'm not attacking them in a vicious way and committing cyber libel. Cyber libel, cyber libel. I'm very cautious of what I do. That's why I'll put disclaimers and I'll explain myself because I have to, because I'm forced to do it. Oh, there's things I'd like to say, but unfortunately I just can't. But it's better, in all honesty, it's just better that I don't. Because if I did, he'd never shut me up. Anyway, I think we all got a pretty damn good idea what these vloggers are all about. All the ones that you are all familiar with, all the bullshit, all the lies, the things that they are hiding in their life, the reason they came to the Philippines. I've exposed a lot of people for that. A lot of people. Well, not just me. There's been other people too that were pretty good in research. And maybe even some of them I got my information off, actually. Some of it on my own. On my own. Gotta give myself a little bit of credit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. What a lovely breezy day. Damn, maybe I could go up to that lab today. No, they ain't gonna come until after lunch. If I go now, I'd be wasting my time. Oh, what day of the week is it? I don't know, the weeks are going by fast too. It just seems it was just recently, it was just Saturday. What is it now, Wednesday or something? I don't even keep track. It is going fast, isn't it? That means it's going by fast. Huh? That's a point. That's a point. Life is going by too fast. So do something, anything, something good with it. I mean, like anything. My goodness, that's crazy. So I think Scotty's got to watch out. I think this is why Scotty's kind of moving on a little bit. Now, I know all the antics Scotty does, a lot of it. I never really followed him for a long time, but I've seen him enough to know about him, to make my own observations. But when that video was exposed of him grabbing that woman, she had no bra on. She had this white tight shirt on. She was kind of busty, with a midriff type of blouse. You could see her whole belly, and her nipples were sticking out. Scotty goes over and grabs one of her fucking tits. He had no fucking right to put his hands on her, nevertheless to touch her privates. I mean, that was fucking ballsy, man. I always thought something was wrong with the guy from day one. From day one, I've always thought something was wrong with him, man.
You try real toot and you're a real burrs. It means you're berserk? I don't know. What does that mean? Burrs for you. What's a burrs? You just can't go around and like, what Slim did. You, pro-life travel, yeah, you just can't go around doing that kind of shit out here. We live in a world that if you look at somebody the wrong way, you could be sued. But to touch somebody who wasn't expecting it or didn't want it, and even somebody who said, I really don't want to be on camera, while he does it. I mean, come on, dude, seriously? You don't do that. But he does. I think Scotty should just go back to, what is it, Canada, and just fucking stay there before he winds up in a fucking Philippines prison. It's real easy to happen out here. It's real easy. You don't have to do much. The government is coming down on everybody and every fucking thing. And you have to find yourself in a position to defend yourself for something that maybe you didn't do, but somebody said you did. Because they said it. Because they're Filipino. Oh, yeah. They use that as a tool. I don't think you could do it back in the States either. Oh, you're a troll. Okay. Well, I wouldn't want to be in the States. And if I had to go back for any given reason, I'd make my way back to Southeast Asia. No way in the world I'm going to stay in the United States. You got to be out of your fucking mind. But, yeah. You have a rule, don't do what you wouldn't do back home. Okay, I'll buy that. I'll accept that. Oh, especially, you come into a fucking foreign country, which got their own rules and laws, and why fuck with the laws out here, man? You've already seen what's been happening to people, and what people trying to do to other people. It's non-stop. They're not happy until they're trying to make something happen, even to innocent people. Yeah, it gets that bad. Just behave yourself in this country. I watch everything I say these days, if you've been noticing that or not, if you're a follower of my channel. I watch everything I say. I put wisdom behind what I say. I know how to stop myself from going too far. Because on here, everybody's trying to find fault with you constantly. Constantly. But like I said and started off the show, my observation of these YouTubers out here, the ones that go on camera, and I could actually make that statement, and I was saying, wow, life really caught up with you. Oh, all right, look, I do a little tricks for myself. I do try to reduce the amount of gray in my hair. My hair is not all grayed out, amazingly, at my age. It's amazing because I let my hair go and grow and hadn't had a haircut for a while. And I use that product called Just for Men that works good with my hair color because it looks really natural when I use it. And it gets out it doesn't get out a lot of the gray, but it gets out a lot of it. But I make it look natural. But when I, didn't have a haircut for a while and then I got a haircut, I seen what was coming out and I was very surprised. I still had a lot of my natural hair color in there. I couldn't believe it. But I look at some of these people on here and I see, whoa. And, I have the right to look as good as I want. If I don't care, it doesn't work for everybody. It works for me, but, I'm happy to be my age because I've lived that long. If I wasn't my age, I'd be dead, right? But it doesn't mean I have to look the part. It doesn't mean that you can't put a nice shirt on. It doesn't mean that, you look all scraggly and get a beard and shit and don't comb your hair. It doesn't mean that you can't make yourself look good. Because when you give in to your age, then you are old.
No matter what age you are, you're old. You could be 50 years old and be old because you don't take care of yourself. Because you've got a big ass fucking belly with so much visceral fat that you could feed a family of 10 people for a week if they had to consume you. That's not taking care of yourself. I wouldn't want to be that person in a fucking air crash. Because the rest of the passage is going to have you for fucking dinner. There's enough fat on these people to give them a lot of energy against the cold and the elements. They'd be the first customer for dinner. And your mobility isn't good either when you gain weight. Could you run away from an assailant if you had that kind of weight on you? No, you can't. You'll be out of breath like the guy in the picture I got here. No offense. No offense. I'm just saying, relax, chill, relax, relax. Observation, point of view. That's all it is. See, I'm watching myself here all the time. Oh, it's okay for them to talk about other people, but God forbid you do. Oh, you're breaking the law, you're doing something terrible. No, I'm not. I do things differently on my show. And like I say 120,000 times, I only talk about what I see and hear on their own shows. I don't have a reason to make up because I could be proven wrong and make a false statement. Anytime I talk about anybody out there that's a vlogger, you know, I'm just going to give you the facts. Now, there usually has to be a reason why I talk about it. They said something very profound or something, and I have the right to address it. It is a public media. It's public. If they put themselves on their camera, they're exposing themselves to people, and what they put out, they are responsible for. So with that being said, I got that out of my system about people just don't take care of themselves. I worry about me and mine. That's all I worry about. I could be observant and I could say, wow, I never seen that person with their hat on. They're all fucking grayed out. I understand why they wear their hat. That's not against the law. Not even remotely. Not even remotely. It's either fact or fiction. Which one is it? It's either provable or it's not. Which one is it? It's provable. He's got all this gray hair and he's balding. That's provable. Told you I'm being careful on here. But, let it all hang out, man. It is what it is. One day I may decide just to let my hair grow out to see how much silver or gray is actually. Well, I've already seen how much silver is in there. Or gray. I already did. And I was surprised. Oh, I've seen it when the hair was falling down. I said, oh yeah, there it is. There is some definite gray in there. That's for damn sure. I've seen it. It's like a salt and pepper, but it's better than the salt and pepper. I got more of my natural hair than I have any gray hair. No, this reminds me, I gotta buy more collagen. I thought I ordered it, but I guess I didn't. I don't know. All I know is I got an order for some dog's antibiotic eye drops coming in today. Which I forgot that I ordered. And I don't have any money around the house. I'd have to go to the machine, so am I going to have to refuse delivery, or what am I going to have to do? No, hopefully it comes later in the day. But I got to get myself some antibiotics, I think. Don't want to take a chance. Even though your analysis says you only got few bacteria. Well, according to what's going on, that few could turn into many. That's the problem. You don't want it to turn into many. That's why I've been probably pissing a lot, irritating my bladder, and I thought it was something else. Here's my answer. Well, that and having a prostate at my age, which is probably 50% larger than a younger man, although they say that is the size of the prostate your age. That's quite normal, Mr. B. Oh, okay. Thanks for telling me that. Unless you have a problem with that. Look, I could go through all fucking times of testing and spend thousands of dollars, which I'm not going to do that. I go through things one by one. I'm not going to make any unnecessary, you know, explorative operations to go through my system with a scope again to see if something's wrong in my urinary system. My liver's in good shape. Not my, no, talk about my kidneys. According to testing, my kidneys are in good shape. Thank goodness for small miracles. It's the rest of the plumbing. That might be a little fucked up from a residual piece of stone from when they busted out the stone I had in there. That's a possibility. Possibilities that your prostate could be rubbing against your bladder. You go, girl. That can cause a little more frequent than usual pissing. It could be an irritant from the bacteria. It could be some leftover. So which is it? Can't be all of the above, or maybe it could. You don't know until you get tests. That's the point. If you don't get testing, then you let everything go. You can't just get a urinalysis. That's going to give you basic information. They'll tell you what the bacteria is, E. coli, whatever the fuck it might be, and identify it. Because people don't do that when they go. The doctor just throws, here's some antibiotics. And guess what? Take a wild guess. That particular kind of antibiotic may not be for the particular bacteria that you got in your body. And it ain't going to do shit except make your immune system weaker by killing all the good bacteria in your body. See how this shit works? That's how shit works. Just like people running their mouth on YouTube thinking they can't get away with it. Then something happens and they realize, oh shit, I didn't get away with this. I didn't get away with it after all. Point making, hope point taken. Investigate. Unless you want something worse to happen to you, then you're going to get pain. Pain. Nobody wants pain. Nobody wants a systemic infection either, like sepsis. I'll assure you of that. I've never had that, but I will tell you something. It was a good sign when I had to get that kidney stone taken out, because if I didn't, well, first of all, I'd be suffering in pain. But secondly, importantly, it would enable infection to go right into my kidneys. Then I'd have a real problem. Again, pound of, how that saying goes. Yeah. It's worth a pound of cure, yeah. That's the code I live by. Hey, Aloe. I didn't see it. I wasn't looking at the screen. Hello. No, I don't know. He's moving somewhere. I don't know where he's living now. It looks like a dumpy little place. I had to put a lot of disclaimers out there and say I'm just making an observation. I've never seen him without his cap on. And then he did a long live stream today that I was aware of and went to. I would have came on there, but I don't know. They wanted me to use a certain email address from what I forgot. I have two different platforms, but I couldn't get on there. But Philly. Oh, actually, it was Philly. But then he had a live show. Philly had a long one. He's talking about other people like Slim. Like Philly spent 7 years in Angeles City, Aloe. All he did was photograph the whores and shit. And he's talking about Scotty Boy, because I guess he doesn't like Scotty Boy. The thing about Mike is that I never realized, because Mike is my age, not almost exact, but, and I've never seen him without a hat on. And he did a show. He didn't have his hat on. I said, holy shit. This guy's older looking than I thought he was for his age. Holy crap, on a shingle or whatever. Papa. Holy shit, on a shingle. That people, I'm saying on my show today, Alice, that people just are not taking care of themselves. Then at the end of the show, he just tuned in. I was just talking about how I really need to go get I already did a urinalysis, but I really need to go get a urine culture. It takes 48 hours. And I have few bacteria in there, and I don't want to go into many. So it might be a wise idea to take a short-term antibiotic that's specifically geared toward urinary UTIs and stuff like that, instead of getting unfortunately, what a lot of people have suffered getting antibiotics from a doctor that has no healing effect to the kind of bacteria that they have, whether it's a UTI, whether it's an infection from another source, that you have to go and examine what kind of bacteria it is, so you know what kind of antibiotic to use. Otherwise, it's going to be ineffective, and you'll probably lower your immune system by taking that. That happened to me 2 times. I think I was on three, one after the other, because each one didn't work one time until they found the right one. What they do is they use a broad spectrum, but they have ones that'll actually gear towards your urinary system instead of like all over your body, which you're killing good bacteria. This is certain antibiotics are made for that particular area. Okay, and we won't dwell on the medical shit here. But I said I got to go in for two things. I got to rule some things out. Yes, I discovered pretty much I've got an enlarged prostate. For my age, it's pretty normal. It's a normal size for my age. I always love when they say that. It's normal for your age. But you're telling me it's big. Yeah, but it's normal for your age. Oh, thank you. It could be hitting against my bladder. I could have residual stones in my bladder from when they did a lithotripsy and broke up the stone I had. Papa was a rolling stone. Okay. I listened to that live stream earlier about Philly. Yes, the clickbait king. Yeah, LOL. I agree. Brian is a creep. He really is a fucking creep. Yeah, I don't like that guy at all. He spent all his time. How could he afford to talk about anybody else? He spent all his time on Angeles walking street. That's all he did. So he has a reason to come down on Scotty. Well, I mean, yeah, Scotty's not innocent. He grabbed a woman's tit. I wasn't aware of that until 3 days ago. And there's no excuse, drink it or not. But Scotty's feeling the heat. That's why he's going to be leaving town soon, I heard. Either go back to Canada for a bit and then come back and go to Thailand or something. But I'm kind of thinking he's not going to come back to the Philly Willy for a while. Things are too hot for him. Philly Willy. And chase the babe-a-roonies, Aloe. Chase the babe-a-roonies. Fucking junior high school kid. And you know what? He and regular guy were friends before. Oh, really? And what turned them around? The plot thickens. The plot thickens. Oh, really? That's crazy. Yeah. Too bad we can't talk on the phone sometime. We probably have a lot to talk about. I know you could arrange that. It doesn't mean I could look and see what you look like or anything else. But somehow we've exchanged numbers or something. I don't know. It'd be better to talk to you without an audience, you know? They met in Angeles. Okay. Well, yeah, it's the place to be, I guess. I've never been to Angeles. I have no wants to go, even in Manila, anywhere. I have no wants to go to Angeles City. I never did. For what? You know? We can talk. Email. Oh, come on now, Aloe. Come on. You're my best bud. What's wrong with you? Times have changed. You're my brother from another mother, after all. Angeles has a bad reputation, but it's a good place to live in. And Manila, too, bad reputation. Oh, I know, there's parts of Manila that's really nice. Was it BGC and all that? And what do you think about Cavite? I have an old friend. Him and his wife moved from Seattle to Cavite. Is that a nice place, or? Oh, on the phone. Oh. Yeah, we got to do that sometime, man. I won't know who you are by talking to you. I know your voice now, and I'll know your voice then. You know what I mean? You're not giving away yourself at all, and I'm not going to record you. Cavite is a good place, too. I think his wife or some of their relatives had land out there they bought or something. And he's, like, older than me. I don't know. I think he has some lung problems, too. I don't know why he didn't move out there before. It's been a while since he retired, and his wife, I guess, was waiting to retire from the hospital administration or something. They got good money coming in.
So-called friends, but when I asked him for a favor one time, oh boy, went the other way, went one ear to the other. So-called friends. With friends like that, you don't need enemies. Papa was a rolling stone. Yeah, I don't know. All hell was hitting me. I was getting some chest congestion. I seem to feel okay. I haven't had nasal congestion for a while. It's just the usual sniffing, like I'm doing coke or something on here. I assure you I'm not. Okay. My normal sinus crap. I used to know a guy my father used to paint with, Guido. His name was Guido. Guido Carpenito was his name. He was a good guy. Kind of looked like a Dean Martinish type of guy. He was always sniffling, but I think he was actually into coke, actually. I think he was into coke. I don't know. They said it was a sinus condition, but I have a feeling that it wasn't. Yeah, you know me. I don't travel around. And the way did you see what's going on over here at Hagnalia Port? Oh man, I'm telling you. Because of that earthquake, At high tide, the whole area is covered in water. Standing area where you wait for you have to walk out into the ocean, Aloe. You got to walk into the ocean to get to the ramp to get on the ferry. My wife's family is from Cavite. Okay. Yeah, I don't know nothing about it. I was curious because I know this guy that claims that's where he moved. We're not really in touch. I talked to him briefly, heard what he wanted to hear from me, and that was it. Look, the truth is, if you ain't got nothing in the country you came for, then yeah, fucking leave it. I don't blame you. Get away. The way United States is right now, you don't want to be there unless unless you have to. I don't want anything to do with the United States other than collecting my fucking check, and even that's not guaranteed. Not with that president in office, that's for sure. But don't worry, that'll be taken care of, I'm sure of that, real soon. The United States is a very big disappointment to me. It was not the place I grew up in. Not the place. I never waved the flag, but, it's just not the place I grew up in. Maybe I had dreams of white picket fence, and people achieved it with hard work, and the dream is over. Nobody can afford houses unless you're really wealthy. You know, dream is over. What is it? Two chickens in a pot, two cars in the garage, a white picket fence, and all that. Yeah, no more. Trump is on his way to Switzerland. Oh, really? Are you ready for him? You going to take care of him? You going to give him a reception? Should arrive in a few hours. World Economic Forum in Davos. Yeah, I've heard about Davos. I didn't know that Davos was in Switzerland. I think of Davao. I'm not that stupid. I know that. Oh, they're all rejecting him all over the world now. He went to some places. He was booed out by audiences. You want to laugh? Do you remember that? It was pretty recent that he went to, where was that? I don't know if it was in Minneapolis. Where was it? And one of these workers, he was a worker. I don't know. Worker was giving him the finger, and he said "fuck you" to the worker and all that shit. That worker made something like $500,000 from that. Did you know that? People supported him, who took a big chance with the ICE agents around and everything. The feds spoke up and told him what he thought of Trump, and Trump didn't like that. And people supported this guy, and I think he made like $500,000 fucking dollars because the company he worked for right there was giving him some shit, putting him on some leave or something. The guy made, I think, something like $500,000 fucking dollars, man. Ain't that funny the way things turn out? Ain't that? Ain't that something? Yeah. Ain't that something? Well, unfortunately for some people we know on here that are not good people, like Slim and the other guy. Yeah, it's unfortunate. These guys are going to be rich. Well, what's his name is already rich. The Russian.
And, well, Slim, pro life traveler, he was making very good money, but unfortunately, people did him a favor. They did. All the publicity he got, when he comes back on, they're all going to be floating to his channel and signing up. They want to hear his side of the story. They want to learn about Jolene, his girlfriend, the baby. This guy's going to make triple the money at least that he was making on his show. I bet he'll make 25 grand a fucking month at least. Dollars. So in other words, you do something bad and you get rewarded for it. Isn't that how it works? If you do something good, you get attacked, right? Papa was a rolling stone. You can leave me some contact information on your email, DeWinter, if you wish. If I got data on my phone or something, I could call you sometime. Maybe I could give you my Gcash number, which I use for Gcash. I don't have Gcash anymore, but I have a number just for that, actually. That would be a first. 1-to-1. And nobody's going to record each other. I'll guarantee that. You'll never hear your recording on YouTube because you're not going to be recorded, period. I would probably appreciate the same thing, from you. Oh, anyway, think about it. You know how to contact me. I'm still waiting for my recliner chair. God damn it, dude. I can't use this anymore. It's killing my back. We're constituents, so. Yeah, I've been taking out the shotgun for a number of people this past week. I haven't held back. Because I really think I need to. Sometimes you need to, and sometimes you should avoid it and stay away from it and not say anything. But there are times that I feel personally that I have to say something. I got to call somebody out. It's not always worth doing. It's just more hassle. It creates more problems sometimes. But sometimes you do have to speak out about some shit. I guess that's just who I am, where I was raised and born and stuff, I guess. Might have something to do with it, but how I put value on things and how I don't value other things. Nothing wrong with what I do, actually. But I'm going to get off here. Thanks for showing up here, Aloe. Contact me on the email sometime, and, you got something to say, yeah. Yeah, I think let me see, what time is it now? Okay, they're back. I'm thinking about going up to that diagnostic center and at least getting a urine culture. Papa was a rolling stone. What was that? About 1,800 pesos, I think. Okay, man, later. All right, good having you here. Thanks for showing up. Okay, everybody else, I want to thank you for listening. And I'll be fair enough, I'll get Mike's picture off there. I'll be fair enough. But I just thought it was interesting, that's all, because I've never seen him without a cap. Yeah, I'll be cool about it. Already have a thumbs up without showing anybody was there. That's pretty unique. I'll make it short and sweet because I got to charge the phone. I know I never leave it on the charger. That's my problem. I'm always forgetting to put it on the charger. Everybody, of course, has heard about Vitality, and maybe just a little bit too much. I heard about Slim and all that. It's getting pretty old. There are news agencies that are still putting stuff on the internet on feeds about him. He's getting so much publicity. Do you know how much this would cost normally to give somebody, for media, to give somebody publicity, to promote something? Thousands and thousands of dollars. And he's very smug about his situation in his 9 months. He said it built him, it didn't destroy him. He says, it built me, it didn't destroy me. But a lot of people know he probably had some problems in there. You can see it in his eyes. His nose looks a little bit crooked. Now, what exactly happened as a result of him being reported and deported? He's already gone, but people are just catching up to it now. I'm seeing more and more stuff on YouTube and everywhere.
talking about this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. He's already in Estonia. Excuse me, he's already back in Mother Russia. Mother Russia. All this publicity, free publicity, the guy is smiling from ear to ear, I guarantee you. Why is he smiling? Since you asked. He's smiling because if you think he was making a lot of money on his show, wow, just wait. Just wait till he gets back on again. And he's going to. He's going to take advantage of this. He's going to make, I don't know how many times more money from something that turned out for a bad thing for him. And he got caught doing the shit he did. Well, he'll just either stay in Estonia or go somewhere else in Southeast Asia, somewhere, and he'll vlog from there. And he's going to get thousands of more people viewing him and subscribing to him. Guess what? The guy's going to get richer and richer and richer and richer. Now, as for the other guy, pro-life traveler Slim, he's going to do very well too, because people want to keep up with what he's doing. So, does it pay to do a crime here in the Philippines? Well, if you're a popular vlogger and you've already been making money, one of those situations. Not me, but I don't make shit on here. But, you know, sometimes it pays to do the crime. And if you have to do a tiny bit of time, you know, like Vitaly did, it's like, you know, it's like, oh, well, it was worth him to do 9 months in jail. Like, from what I understand, he didn't like it. But he said, I came out even stronger. Ooh, he said. What didn't destroy me built me, he said. Now he's got sporting a beard and watch his bank. The guy's worth like, what the fuck? What was it, $12 million plus already from, pardon me, from being on YouTube and other formats. His mother at his side helping him out. His mother was involved in this too. I mean, she's part of his show, really. She might act as assistant or cameraman or whatever, but she's raking in the money too when her son gets so successful. Oh yeah. So the more publicity, and even by me talking, well, look, I don't have a big channel, so who's even listening to me, you know? It's not going to get out that public on my channel. I don't have a big channel, but for those people that keep on talking about him, that's more viewers for him, more information about him, and more people are going to want to know what's going on with him or Slim, either one of them. These guys are coming out like they won the fucking lottery. They're probably glad that this happened. They're not sad. And Slim is not sad that he left the Philippines. He sees an opportunity to make more money. He may wind up in Southeast Asia somewhere. Vitaly may either stay in Estonia or he may be drafted. I don't know. According to what happens with Trump. He may not be doing any vlogging. But my understanding, wow, 41, I can't believe it. But my understanding is that he is planning to vlog. And guess what? It's just like Barry. He was able to use his camera in jail. And this is Vitaly now. And he's going to be putting up a documentary of his experience in jail for those 9 months. Wow, that's going to be killer, right? Well, Christine Ferry, I got this channel on for underage, not for underage, so you shouldn't be on here. Okay? Christian Every. This is adult channel. You should not be on here. Disclaimer. If you don't like what I'm saying, you better get off. There might be some language you don't want to hear. Okay? Fair enough? Okay, fair enough. So now, Vitaly is going to be releasing it sometime. He's putting together, probably with music and everything. Who knows? With all his money, he can make quite a show out of this. He's going to create a little documentary of his time. I mean, the guy is benefiting
he, he's benefiting from the crimes he committed. Doesn't it usually work that way? So he's going to benefit from the crimes that he committed. He's going to get a lot more subs, a lot more views. He's going to be making a lot more money. A lot more money. Crap to who? Crap to me or crap to whatever? Is who gone? I don't know. About the no swearing thing. You tuned into me, and if you don't like my language on here, you need to tune out. If you're underage, I already put this thing into mode of no, this is not made for children. So if you're on here, that's your doing, not mine. You can turn it off. So isn't that the irony of this? I mean, isn't this kind of interesting how it works? You come into this country, you commit these crimes, and you're going to walk out a lot richer later on. It's just amazing. Just amazing. And he's going to laugh about this. Both of them are. And because I don't have a big channel, I'm not worried about giving such publicity to him. I have a very small channel, but with that being said, there are bigger channels and bigger news outlets. Sunstar just did another thing on him. Another one did another thing on him. Another one did. I mean, every time I turn on, there's something about Vitaly, mostly. They're so behind the times as a news reporting agency. It's amazing. He's going to be deported. He's already been deported. He's in his country already. So much for on-the-spot time, reporting. Sunstar and everybody else, he's already in Estonia. Like they're listening to my show. That's funny. So, anyway. Anyway, that's kind of the update of what's going on in here. Well, first of all, I'm going to get rid of you, Christine Envy, because you shouldn't be on here. That means I will not see your comments. So, a second here. Hide user. Okay. All right, you're gone on here. Isn't that crazy the way things work out? Commit a crime here. And mostly if you have a real popular channel. And everybody's going to want to know what's going on. Same as Barry Jordan. He's going to take advantage of this big time. When he gets released, when he gets settled down, wherever he's going to wind up, unless he's in another jail again in America, he'll go back on and everybody will come to his show. And he might make a little ad revenue money. So, in a way, Barry Jordan is looking forward to go back home. He has nothing to go back to, but when he does get settled in, and he'll definitely be on again, you know that. There's no question about that. He'll have a lot to say about me, too, because he's going to be like 15,000 miles away. You know, like Popeye. Yeah, he'll have a lot to say about me. There ain't no doubt about that at all. What happened? We had 41 people in here. I don't know. Funny the way things work, isn't it? From a zero to hero. Well, it wasn't a zero thing because pro-life traveler Slim was making good money on his show. And Vitaly, we already know that he was making a lot of money per month because he's been on YouTube for a while. His net worth is over $12 million or more, I heard. Now, Slim from Pro-Life Traveler, or Slimy, or SIM card, whatever you want to call him, he's probably making at least $6,000 a month or something on his show, which is not chicken feed money. But now he's got the opportunity to make a hell of a lot more than that. So, due to crime, due to time, they say, but due to crime, and you're in the prime, isn't that something? Isn't that right? Well, maybe it pays, huh? Well, most YouTube channels on here make more money when they talk about drama, so there's nothing new about this. If you're a monetized channel on here,
There's really nothing new at all. But we're talking about a bigger scale when it comes to Vitali. He's loving every minute of it. Oh, he's watching. He's watching. He's seeing how many news agencies are reporting. Him and his mother's just sitting there having a fucking bottle of vodka right now, and they're celebrating. We got him home now to Mama. Now they're gonna start counting the money that's gonna be coming in from his future shows. Anyway, just wanted to kind of talk about that. Yeah, a lot of news agencies around here are really not updated, or maybe vloggers are not updated. I mean, this is becoming old news with Vitali and Slim. But they put it on their shows as if, hey, exclusive. Foreigner comes to the Philippines and gets in trouble and gets deported. That's old hat now. Guess they're behind the times. People don't catch up, but they need subject matter for their shows. They got to mention, which already been mentioned probably about 50,000 times all over the internet. That is all. I got to charge my phone. We'll catch you on another show. I was hoping I didn't have to talk about Vitali and Slim, but this is really interesting. And yes, he is going to be putting on, I read on that too, a statement from him that he does plan to put on, he's documented his time there. And there's a couple of pictures of him, I think is on my thumbnail. And he probably bought his friendships in there, I would not be surprised. I'm sure they made it easy on him, but not necessarily. There might have been a lot of jealous people or pissed off people in there too. He might have got into some fights. Now, he looks like he could take care of himself, but he lost muscle and weight. But and if you look at his nose, there were close-up pictures that are on the internet of him. It looks like his nose is a little crooked. He might have gotten a busted nose. He might have got into a couple of fights in there. I'm not sure. From bad to good, but I don't advise it. I wouldn't go that route to get extra famous. Wow, again. How many times have I said wow? Well, here's another wow for you. Examine the thumbnail, please. And we'll see if we get a few people showing up on here. We'll begin my early evening show here. I told you when I got something to say, I'll come on and say it and share my thoughts with you. It's a good one. So hang in there. Okay. Come on, folks. Build it and they shall come. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to do this show a cappella. Jimbo, if you're listening to my channel, dude, you are just a walking disaster. So now we got Jimbo, the famous Jimbo who went to Cambodia. Didn't work out for him there either. This is the guy that got in trouble, well, problems with his wife, Dexel, in the Philippines. And he called her every name in the book. But things didn't work out for him in Cambodia. He came running back home to the Philippines to his wife, Dexel. But trouble always follows Jimbo. All the time. Now, it's bad enough that Jimbo's a binge drinker and gets himself into trouble, but trouble can't seem to stay away from him, and he seems to find it all the time. Now, besides having legal issues, he got arrested when he came back because of the problem he had with his neighbors and his belligerent drunkenness that got him into trouble with the neighbors.
So he's facing legal issues with the neighbors. So to make it better, now Jim is doing something even more stupid, which you don't do in the Philippines, and Dexel. Well, she's having problem with her relatives. She's having big problems with her relatives. And Jim comes on there and he said a lot of stupid things about the relatives. Now she's getting scared and she doesn't want to stay there. Everywhere Jimbo goes, there's problems. Does it have to do with his drinking? I don't really know. Everywhere Jim goes, there's problems. And this should have been, pardon me. I think I'm coming down with some. Uh, should have been more of an upload than a live show. We've been pounding it out lately, but that's okay. I'm not counting. So now Dexel's all upset. First, she was upset with Jim that he came back and she was broke, didn't have any money for food. Things weren't going her way. She was eating banana blossoms, doing people's laundry just to survive. So Jim comes back to the rescue and helps her out. Now they get involved with some family issues, and you don't want to do that in the Philippines. And as a foreigner, Jim shouldn't be saying the crap that he's saying on his show. Jim is now talking shit about her relatives, and it's affecting his wife Dexel. All kinds of shit is hitting the fan now. As if Jimbo didn't have enough problems. He seems to just create his problems. I don't know what's wrong with anybody on here. Why are they all so fucking stupid? The stupid things people do on YouTube it's I don't know what I'm dealing with on here. The stupidity. The lack of intellect. You don't get on the bad side of your wife's relatives, Jimbo. You just don't do that. You just don't do that. You're getting involved with your wife's relatives, saying shit on your show. Now Dexel is all upset. She's all upset. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't live here like this. I can't live here at this house. We have a big house, but I just can't live here. Well, because you took Jim back and Jim opened up his mouth like he normally does. What's fucking wrong with you people? Seriously. What is wrong with you people? Why'd all the shitbags come over here? The fucktards come here to the Philippines. Jim's already in trouble with a case with his neighbors. He's already in trouble with that. He got arrested when he came back, and everybody knew he was. They told him, don't do it. Don't do it, but he did it. He did it. Didn't listen to anybody at all. No, he didn't. He didn't listen to anybody. So he came to the Philippines. They let him go, got arrested, but he has to go to a court date. Which we're going to keep him around the Philippines whether he likes it or not. Then he gets involved with his wife's family affairs, which you don't do. Man, you just don't do that. Boy, the beat goes on and on and on here, doesn't it? Issues and tissues and just crazy shit. Jimbo, I don't know, maybe my thumbnail will get you to watch my show, but you know what? You're a dumb shit, Jimbo. You don't have enough problems. You get in trouble in your own ways in Cambodia. You're stupid enough to walk in the streets with your underwear at 3 a.m, which was crazy. And you come back to the Philippines because you had nowhere else to go, and you swore you hated the Philippines. You were knocking the Philippines left and right and left. But you put your tail between your legs and you went back to Dexel because she was eating banana blossoms and doing laundry just to make some rice money. You didn't help the kids out at the time. You didn't help her out, you scumbag. Now you come back and you get involved in her family business. It's a big no-no here in the Philippines, Jimbo. She's all upset now. I saw her last show. I don't know what I'm going to do. They're, having big time problems. Maybe there's threats from the relatives. I don't know if it stems from jealousy and this and that. They got the big house. And remember I did a show about jealousy? Yeah. Well,
Jim apparently was opening his mouth, saying things to her family, and I guess they didn't like it. So now Jimbo is in trouble with her family. Does it ever stop, Jim? Does it ever stop? Is that the purpose of your life, to come out here and get into trouble? What is your purpose anyway? I haven't figured it out. I watch your shows just to see you crash and burn, but you're giving us a lot of that, that's for sure. Crash and burn, dude. Train wrecks galore. You don't get involved with your wife's fucking family. And she's right. How are you going to live there anymore? You can get yourself hurt or killed, Jimbo. Hurt or killed. Do you understand me? You don't do that. You got to learn to shut your fucking mouth. Jeez. Can't help saying it all the time. What is wrong with you people on here, man? You can't stay out of trouble. You do the stupidest things. The stupidest things. The steroids have gotten to your brain, Jimbo. The steroids have gotten to your brain. That and the testosterone. I don't know what the fuck. Then you're giving that shit to your wife. You really think that's something to do? You have her running around the house, washing the walls down with a big smile because she got a shot of your fucking steroids or something. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Keep your steroids to yourself, Mr. Phony Muscle. Brawn with no fucking brains. Brawn with no brains. Brawn with no brains. Comes back and gets into trouble, gets arrested already. For the case that has to do with his neighbors and the fight they had. Now he's got to go to court for that. Then he opens his mouth and talks about her family, her relatives. And fireworks are flying, my friends. Fireworks are a-flying. Because he couldn't shut his mouth. What is it about people running their mouth on here? You don't mess with Filipinos' families. You don't get involved with that shit. If there's friction, as a foreigner, just stay away from that, Jimbo. As far as you can, Jimbo. As far as you can. What's wrong? What is wrong with you, sir? I've been trying to figure that out. So is everybody else. What is wrong with you, sir? She's all upset now. His wife, Dexel's all upset now. I have to live in this house, this big house any longer. That's the issue, because they live in a big house that went to shit. How much he said he spent on this house? It looks like it's a 200,000 peso house, to tell you the truth. What he said he spent? 400? What? 400,000? He said dollars. You could get a fucking mansion. $25 million mansion for 400,000. You know, come on, man. 400,000 pesos. Things are leaking. He got mold in the house. You got all that shit going on. And you're a builder? Really? That's crazy. You're a builder. And more information on Vitaly. Vitaly apparently is getting special favors in there. Now, but he said he was hiding his phone. And he was secretly recording. That's why he's going to be coming up what he calls a documentary of his situation in there. What he ate or what he ordered. He will mention about some of the tough conditions there. But he's going to come out with a documentary that he made. He snuck his phone like Barry Jordan does. He probably paid off some guards to do that. Of course he did. Isn't that the way it works? So Vitaly paying off guards to use his phone. He was hiding it all the time. I think he had a little bunk and he had little special curtains around there. Oh yeah. He had some little hangers for clothes, and hey, when you're a millionaire and people get word of that in there, yeah, you're gonna live the high life. But I'm not thinking he lived the high life in there at all. I'm sure he had some problems. But he said he's coming out well, maybe because I got the thumbnail on there, maybe you'll find my show and you'll actually listen to it. You're being a dumbass. And you've been a dumbass ever since I ever started even listening to you. Every single thing that you've done, you never thought it out. You just never thought it out. Come back to the Philippines, what you think was going to happen? You're going to get arrested. And you did get arrested. Porcupine, you got arrested. So, what are you going to do? If you don't really, listen to people? If you don't sit down and think things out before you do them? Well, this is what happens. But the worst thing you did is get involved now. On Jimbo's last show with Dexel there, apparently there's if you just tuned in, he's having some huge problems. He got involved and put his mouth off about relatives. And you don't do that out here. You think that guy had any sensibility at all in his fucking brain, but apparently he doesn't. Not at all. You don't mess with the family, man. When you mess with the family, familia, that's when you get your ass in trouble. You ain't gonna be able to stay in the Philippines, Jim, you know that. You're gonna have to do something with your wife. It's gonna be impossible, really, to get her over to the States, especially with what's going on with Trump. He's not allowing anybody. He's really not allowing anybody to come over and, with the immigration situation. Yeah. That'd be a hard sell on that one. Make it probably harder for her. She's not gonna leave anyway. So what are you gonna do? Go back and find Chantu? Chantu? Achoo, achoo. Chantu? Is that what you're gonna do? Ain't gonna work. She want anything to do with you, man. What's wrong with you, man? Let's see. I gotta find something. I'm trying to figure out what I want to eat tonight. That's exactly what I'm trying to do, my dear. Oh, hi, Tim. Rochero. I don't know. I can make some broccoli, eat something healthy tonight, or I don't know. I'll get that going anyway. I might mix it with something, since everything is not defrosted here. Boy, there's been a lot of drama on YouTube, hasn't there? Apparently. We got everything going. We got Vitality, we got Slim. We got old Jimbo. When does it end? Oy vey. Jim's just going to get himself in more trouble, but this time it's going to be, unfortunately for him, it's going to be with her family. That's worse than ever. That's even worse than the law. Look, if there is, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. They're saying that the family's jealous of this and that. I don't know the real story on that. And generally, they're not going to tell you. Look at that, let's make a nice meal, huh? Generally, they're not going to tell you the whole story. And whether jealousy is a factor or not, probably is something mixed in there with other issues, I'm pretty sure. But I really wouldn't mess with the family. It's not a wise idea. Well, the thing is, see, Jim made it worse because, I gotta put this, give it 10 minutes here. Jim made it worse because he had to open up his mouth. And he's saying things on YouTube and to the family, to her family, a lot of shitty things. And, how do you think they're going to react? These are Filipinos. And you don't fuck with these Filipinos. Honor and family, saving face, and all that great stuff. I don't know why I'm even talking about this. I'm not having the healthiest day. I got a slight headache. I might have a chest flu going on or something that's making its way, and I got to take care of something else tomorrow. Falling apart here. Falling apart.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make these. I put broccoli. Then I put this bag of vegetables in there. I'll have a veggie dinner with something tonight.
Okay. You still have lentils in?
Lentils left over?
Yeah.
Nah, I get it. Nah, I don't know. I can mix it in if I had. I don't know how good it is. You know how me. I don't like keeping things in the fridge for a while.
Okay.
I got enough shit going on. That's for sure. So, I don't know. When I get something kind of worth talking about, then I'll talk about it on my show. And it's like an ongoing diary on here, episodes. Watching the absolute stupidity of people. Well, you guys like entertainment. You certainly get it on YouTube, and I can see why. Jim, I don't know if you're listening. I hope you are. Could you slow down and just gonna examine what you do, not only to yourself and your body, but the testosterone and the steroids? You're gonna get a heart attack. With all the stress you're going through, you might get your cortisol levels probably going through the roof right now. Is it worth it? You gotta ask yourself that question. Is it worth it? Now you gotta deal with the house. You can share what I'm making. I got a lot.
No.
You're into veggies.
Yes.
Eat something healthy, please.
I ate.
Eat something healthy. God, you think these people are not going through enough shit and they just bring more stuff on themselves? Why? People into the drama that much, especially when their own drama affects themselves? All right, I need some rest. That's all I know. I actually have to do a few things tomorrow. I gotta really. Well, here's the thing. I gotta get. I definitely gotta get a urine culture because I have some bacteria in my urine from my urinalysis test. I'm even feeling lightheaded today too. But you can't leave it there because if it gets worse, it could lead to sepsis. But you can't treat it, like I said in another show. You can't treat it unless you know what kind of bacteria. So you have to get a particular antibiotic. So, triple, gotta get, well, shit. You'd have to wait. What day of the week is it? I might even have this information till Monday. You go in there, you get a urine culture, how it works. You go to these diagnostic labs, right? They can identify the bacteria. Okay. Then you'll see the consult doctor and he'll figure out what kind of antibiotics that you should take. That's geared for your urinary tract, not any antibiotic. Down the line, afterwards, you get an ultrasound to check and see if you have any irritants that's causing any bladder problems, like leftover kidney stones, kidney dust from getting a kidney stone removed and zapped with the little vibrating machine, or what's it called? Litropsy. Then he's trying to get the whole picture. So it's a step by step. Then my dog, it just goes on and on. It's really hard to get certain eye drops for her. And I got some stuff from Lasada. It was really expensive too. And she's gonna have to be on this for the rest of her life. She's got dry eyes. And she could go, I don't think her vision is the best in the world anyway right now. She has dry eye syndrome. And she's gonna have to take this cyclosporin for the rest of her life. On top of a medicine called dextran, which is kind of a lubricating, soothing eye drops that dogs can take on top of that. I don't know what my expenditure for medicine is per month. I take 2 prescriptions per month. The dog is going to take prescriptions. My girlfriend takes 1 prescription. There you go. I need a pharmacy. But the good thing is I have no life-threatening illnesses, and neither does she. But I got to take care of my dogs. I went and took care of her before I took care of myself. I got her this eye medicine before I even got antibiotics for myself. Is that dedication to your pet? Yeah, I'd say so. Because I'm a nice guy. What can I tell you? Dogs, well, they don't expect anything from you but love, and you give it back. But to end this, Jimbo, get your ass together, man. Not that I give a fuck, really, but, you're creating the drama in your life, man. You better figure out what you're doing. You're better off just staying in America and just send her a little money every month. You claim you have all this money, which I don't think you do, by the way, and neither does anybody else. Your mommy's taking care of you. We know that already. You're not a big time contractor. God, the lies on YouTube is just amazing. The lies, the absolute lies. Everybody's trying to paint themselves in some Rembrandt picture or something, or larger than life. Stupid and wouldn't say, huh? Get a job? I don't need a job. Why would I need a job? Goodbye. Get a job? I'm retired, mofo. I don't need a fucking job. Living the life in paradise. Why, sand beaches, resorts? No, he had a big life. The good life. Moron. Now, where these guys come from? They're all trolls going under different names. Like, I don't know that, All right, I think that's all I have to say for now about Jim. I think I spelled it out pretty good. Trouble in Paradise with Jimbo. That should be the name of his show. Trouble in Paradise. Or Trouble Follows Me. I don't know if I should feel sorry for you, Jim, or not. Not really. You create your own problems, Jimbo. And you're going to have to solve them. You're going to wind up in jail, or something's going to happen, or her relatives are going to hurt you really bad or kill you. And you won't